cold at the touch, dead in the eyes, no signs of life no more. I put your love under the knife. Leave me to die here all alone. No signs of life no more, no. A crying dove may never fly. Black and white. Yeah. Black and white. Oh. 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 It's black and white. Black and white, just let me go. It's only right. For all I know, it's only matter. It's calico, it's black and white. Just let me go. It's only right. For all I know, it's only matter. It's calico, it's black and white. White, white, white. Black and white. Yeah. Black and white. Oh. 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 It's black and white. Black and white.
Oh, you make me wanna talk back to you. Say it like that. If I hate you, then find someone new. But you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill. Oh yeah. Take you like a pill.
The scene is set here this evening on Absolute Sim Racing for the finale of the PSR SIM3D MX5 trophy here at the Hungaroring. 44 races across 11 different circuits have all led up to this moment. One final qualifying session, 4 more races to go. We're able to crown our champions in the Pro-Am and Am championships that are going right down to the wire with I think really the final race being the deciding factor across all three classes, meaning that this is the closest BSR MX5 trophy we have seen in quite some time. And joining me in the commentary box for all of the excitement and action here at the Hungaroring is Alex Everett. Welcome to the comments box.
Thank you, Ed. Wow, what a scene we have got ahead of us tonight. 4 races, a brilliant MX5 Mazda racing here in the BSR series. It's going to be a nice, exciting championship end here. Very much looking forward to it. And the drivers now out for qualifying at the moment. So this is a crucial session. And we know we have a lot of reverse grids to take a look at throughout the night. Grid position is going to be very important for race 1 because you want as good a results as you can get in all 4 races tonight. So being at the front of the grid for race 1 is key because you get sent, if you finish good in race 1, you get sent to the back for race 2, and then you get back to the front for race 3. And depending on how well your night goes, it can be quite topsy-turvy in that sense. So quite a crucial one indeed.
Am I back? Is everything sorted? I think my computer got a little bit too excited there, Alex, in handing over to you. It got too overwhelmed with the excitement on display here as the drivers get started in their qualifying sessions. Just running the final corner to start their first laps, Alex. And yeah, we're in for a real treat.
Yes, we are indeed. As we see the main title protagonists getting ready to set a lap. There's Casper de Court himself in the Pro Category Championship, Jason Cooper as well. They're the 2 closest rivals in the Pro Category Championship, and I believe we'll go through the Pro Category standings right now.
Yes, we can. So, as you see the 5-star motorsport cars making their way through their first time runs in qualifying, you can see there's 5-star motorsport 1, 2 at the top of the timing sheets. Jason Cooper with a narrow lead over teammate and championship rival Casper de Court coming into the final round of the championship. Just 32 points separating first from second, and then 232 points separating Adam McNally from the top spot of this Pro Championship. So mathematically, of course, Adam McNally is still in the picture, can still come away with something, but he'll need to rely on misfortune falling Jason and Casper, and him having, well, the race to remember this evening at the Hungaroring. So difficult for Adam McNally to come through, but still mathematically possible. You can see 4th place for the championship, as close as ever, 3 points separating Lars Fischer and James Clark. Keep your eyes open for those 2 fighting together. It's close as well between 6th and 7th, Nick Clibbins and James Neve. Only a few points separating pair of there, around about 14 points if I can do some quick maths. You can go down and see. And then we're in 8th, Luke Cooper in ninth, Shane Piggott rounding out the top 10, but it is very close, obviously, for those positions further down the Pro Championship. Then, of course, we've got the other couple of championships to go through. We'll have a look at the Pro-Ams first, because this is going to be a real one to watch, I think. Michael Seal, 12 points ahead of Craig Cockrell, who himself is only 36 points clear of Lee Holmes. Michael Seal only 36 points clear of Lee Holmes in the Pro-Ams, and then Harry Moss as well in the fight, only 67 points away from taking top honours in Pro-Am. So a lot to play for in that championship. 4 drivers all sort of in the running to take the victory here in this amazing topsy-turvy season in Pro-Am. You got a sizable gap from Harley down to a 5th place. Sam Smith, ahead of Ryan Main, Douglas Stewart, Andy Thompson, Julie Schroer and Liam Silkstone in 10th place. Then going to go down into the AM category. Fewer drivers taking part this season in the AM class, as you can see, but the championship is still as close as ever. Simon Robson, only 85 points ahead of Ashley Stimpson, and the AMs, they can have very topsy-turvy evenings, so all it takes is for a bad race for Simon, a good race for Ashley, and all of a sudden that gap was coming way, way down, and will probably come right down to the wire, because Ashley Stimpson in these last few rounds has been looking very strong indeed. Glenn Humpton, you can see in 3rd place. Don't count him out, an outside shot for the championship, but still a shot nonetheless. Craig Schill in 4th, Mike Oliver in 5th, with Bjorn Sims, Brian Stewart, Adam Mitchinson, Renato Campana, and Richard Pocklington rounding out the AM category. And while we've been running through all of that, going through all the housekeeping, another thing to note is big thank you to this season's sponsors, Go For The Gap, of course, and SIM3D partnering us, obviously Sim Racing, for this season. Great to have them on board. Hopefully we'll see them around for next season, as long as many old drivers as well. Before we get started with all of the action here, big thank you to all of the BSR season admins. They've done a wonderful job in behind the scenes, haven't they, Alex? Working hard to make sure that we've been given all the right information, and also all the drivers have been given the right information, all the servers go up, all of this stuff in the background. It's a lot of work, but I'll tell you what, they've done a very good job.
Yeah, absolutely. You've hit the nail on the head there, Ed. There's a lot that goes into the series. It's a very long running series. I remember when this series was first put together, I think it was in 2015, I think it was put together. That might be wrong about that. Someone could correct me if they have an encyclopedic mind on BSR. But yeah, I remember it like it was yesterday almost. I remember taking part in the first season, and ever since then it's just been well put together with a very good broadcast, obviously. It's very smart and professional points tables and graphics. Just a brilliant competition. One, if you're not involved in, you should get involved in, either by watching as a fan or getting involved as a driver.
2015, that was with the Kia, wasn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah, I remember the touring car series very well. But yeah, it was around about then that the MX5 series did come along on Sunday nights. It was originally, and then it moved to Mondays, and now it's Tuesdays as well. It's certainly one of the go-to competitions and organisations when it comes to MX5 racing. That's for certain.
Yeah, definitely. I remember getting brought into this by a friend of mine, a teammate at the time, Dan Blake, who was doing well in the MX5s on the Tuesdays. When it was actually moved to the Tuesdays, he was doing a very good job in that series and brought me into it. So I started off racing on the Mondays in what was the standalone AM Championship before both these series got merged together with multi-class. And to be fair, I haven't looked back since. They've been very accepting of me, brought me in, part of the furniture almost of BSR and how I feel like, and it's great to be in the comms booth for another amazing season finale. You can see all the 5-star motorsport drivers all together helping one another out, but no lap time being, or not really a quick lap time being set from Casper de Court. Still little ways off Jason Cooper, up to the front, a couple tenths shy of pole position, but you can see them all together, 5-star motorsport ever so close, coming through the second sector now. Really sending it through the corners. Got to go on board with Casper de Court through the final sector. Deceptively tight right-hander before you come to almost hairpin left, and then another deceptively tight right. See a long hairpin. Not really going to be seeing too many moves being made into there, as Jason Cooper actually peels off of the circuit. Casper de Court trying to find that late apex, getting up behind his teammate Lars Fischer as he makes his way out of the final bend and up across the line. What is it going to be for Casper? It's faster, ahead of Fischer, and only 4,000 shy of Ben Sharp, who's actually on the front row. And Ben Sharp, that's the name we've not seen in a while. Good to see Ben back in action here on the Tuesday nights. Was a real season contender earlier on, but sadly real life commitments got in the way. Now he seems to be back, and hopefully we'll see him in line for the winter series, when obviously real life motorsport takes a little bit of a hiatus and you can really go all out on the sim.
Yeah, good to see Ben Sharp in the seat for tonight's round, looking no rust at all. Real life duties really carrying over to iRacing. A lot of real life drivers like to use iRacing as their practice sim and their breakaway, but a very good time there indeed from Ben Sharp. Second place there, just shy of 400ths behind, which really isn't much. Particularly on a track as twisty as the Hungaroring. It's not really a track about speed, as we saw in Formula 1. It's just corner after corner after corner. Fun fact about Hungaroring, because you know, Ed, I like my facts about the tracks. This is a 15 corner track, but the final corner is called turn 14. Work that one out.
Yeah, we love that as commentators when there are corners that aren't called corners, and then corners that aren't actually corners are then referred to as corners. It's a very confusing world as a commentator when you see why on earth have you called it a corner there, and why is that not a corner, and all of this. All that really irks me is actually Road Atlanta, because down through the S's they don't call them a corner, and then suddenly they call them the S is one corner, even though there are a section of corners that go left and right, which is a bit annoying, but you can move on with that. We've got some exciting racing, or exciting qualifying to come through as Ben Sharp improves, but only marginally, down to Jason Cooper, I think. Oh no, he doesn't quite improve. Jason Cooper, though, on an outlap, fresh tyres. Keep your eyes on him, because he could extend his advantage. No drivers in front to tow, but he didn't have tow, let's remember, earlier on to set that pole position time. So watch out for Jason Cooper, and also, to be fair, watch out for Ben Sharp in the race, because Ben was pretty much off by himself in a bit of a middle pack, but not really getting a draft off of his teammates. Means that Ben could be a real one to watch in the races. Looking in behind as well, Ignium driver Michael Seal trying to secure Seal deal in his Pro-Am Championship. Currently Pro-Am Championship leader, let's remember, but by a margin of 12 points. It's not comfortable for Michael. He's going to hope to get the most out of this first race, with rival Harley Moss not too far behind him. In fact, actually just a bit further up the road, at least in terms of qualifying time.
Yeah, and Harley Moss, I believe, without looking at the graphic, 4th place in the standings and top of the standings right here in qualifying. This could be the start of what might be a good night for Harley Moss. Who knows? The natural pace here seems very good on the 97 car. But 4 drivers real close in the championship for Pro-Am. That's one we're really going to have to keep a keen eye on tonight. It's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, the 97, only 67 points away from the lead of the Pro-Am Championship. So what can Harley do with the end of qualifying? You can see him slowing down just a touch. Realises that this lap is not going to be a quick one. Backs out and then decides to go for it right at the end. Michael Seal helping to get out of the way. I think he'll be able to come across the line. It might be close, but I think Michael Seal will have just enough time for one final lap should he get a move on and burn through this lap, as James Clark is in 10th place. Driver of the round last time, if I remember rightly, James Clark, from his performances at Alton Park. Getting a very good race victory. But what can James muster in terms of qualifying? Only down in 10th place. Ben Sharp in 2nd. Ben has not taken tyres, so don't expect him to go much faster, considering the tyres has been around for nearly 14 minutes, and aren't necessarily up to scratch compared to Jason Cooper, who again has not quite been able to find the time that was available to him on the opening lap of qualifying. Still pole position, but this isn't one of his more comfortable poles.
No, but I don't think Jason will care right now in front of his rivals, and it's been very close all season, so it's going to be rather what he expected. I imagine what Jason is focusing on right now is just keeping his nose clean, really, getting through the races nice and tidy, because we know that one race can really throw it all away for any of these drivers tonight. As Cooper comes across the line, is it an improvement of his time?
I don't think so, no. But you can just see in behind, Lars Fischer has timed it to perfection, come across the line just before the timer ticks down. So can Lars maybe upset the apple cart, get ahead of Casper de Court, maybe even try and get ahead of Ben Sharp and make it a 5-star 1-2. You can see there isn't the biggest of gaps between Fischer and de Court. Well, 600ths of a second between 4th and 3rd. Don't forget as well, Casper de Court is going to be starting, as it stands, right behind championship rival and teammate Jason Cooper on the 2nd row. Going into turn 1, he's going to get a big slipstream off of Jason Cooper as it stands, which could be intriguing to see how the pair of them tussle it out. I don't imagine there being team orders this late on in the championship, considering both of them are really in the mix. It could be gloves off and a little bit of argy-bargy, a bit of Hamilton and Rosberg.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking, Lars Fischer's in a real awkward position here. Teammates with Cooper, teammates with DeCourt. Who does he help out? Or does he just get stuck in battle with them? Or does he do that because he might ruin either of their championships battling too intensely? It's going to be a tricky round, I think, for Lars. But yeah, let's see how they get on. I mean, the three of them have been content with keeping together to try and break away from the rest of the crowd in the championship, which they've done very well, with the exception of Adam McNally, who, by the way, has a qualifying ban, I believe, as he no time set and is just sitting there in the pits. What is probably a very frustrating 15 minutes for him.
Yeah, going to be frustrating, but of course, I think a lot of things can happen in these races. Who knows? Maybe all of the 5-star motorsport cars will come together in a big incident. You'll never know. Don't count yourself out. Although, yeah, like you said, Lars Fischer is a little bit of a third wheel in this championship fight, isn't he, between his teammates, Jason Cooper and Casper de Court. Cooper comes across the line, doesn't improve. Fischer comes across the line and does not improve either. So the qualifying order hasn't really been shaken up too much in the dying few moments. A bit strange. Usually you see the track evolve, get faster and faster as the session moves on. It isn't too sunny out there, so you can't imagine the track getting too much hotter. However, the order has stayed the same. Cooper and Sharp, front row starters. Keep your eye on Ben Sharp coming into turn one because he doesn't have anything to lose. He just wants to go out on this final round of the season and bag a victory.
Absolutely, absolutely. But less than a tenth between the top four. Well, we're in for a round tonight. We are, Ed. This is gonna be great. And as well as the Pro-Am category, not the top driver in the championship, top in the standing in qualifying. The same has happened in the Am category. Ashley Stimpson has put himself ahead of championship leader Simon Robson. So keep your eyes on the telly, folks. This really is going to be interesting. I know we keep saying it, but commentators can tell the future, they say.
Yeah, you can. We often make predictions that are either correct or swiftly proven wrong. But I'm having a look at some of the stats for this season, and Ben Sharp, actually, across the season, of all of the drivers that have attended more than 10 races, has actually got the lowest average finish across all of the races. So this could be very good for Ben Sharp. Don't count him out of the equation. A very strong racer and could come out with the goods against Jason Cooper. We are waiting for the drivers to get onto the grid, but in the meantime, we can talk you through the starting grid order. Jason Cooper there, pole position, Ben Sharp alongside him. Keep your eyes for the pair of them into turn one, with Casper de Court in third place. Championship is firmly on his mind going into this first of four races. Lars Fischer in fourth, head of two Pro-Ams, tussling it out for the championship. Harley Moss and Michael Seal. Nick Clemens in seventh, James Clark eighth, Shane Piggott ninth, and James Neve in 10th. Then we come to the AMs, and again, Ashley Stimpson needs to get his championship on track, and he's doing just that with an 11th place start ahead of Simon Robson, Craig Schill, Andy Thompson, Douglas Stewart, Mark Oliver, Fiona Sins, Adam Nally, Adam Denmont, and Sam Smith in 20th place. Andy McEwen there 21st, ahead of Glenn Humberston, Craig Cockrell, Liam Silkstone, Julian Schroer, and Brian Stewart. 26 cars on the grid here at the Hungaroring, and the cars are getting ready. The lights are on, the engine notes are rising. There's a jump start in the background, but ignore that. We go racing here. The first time at the Hungaroring, the final round of the championship underway. First of four races as well. Getting started. Ben Sharp already looking down the inside into turn one, wheel to wheel with Jason Cooper. He got an amazing start on the dirtier side of the track into turn one. He goes cold tyres. Is able to send it up the inside though, and has the advantage. Good run coming out of the corner, but Jason Cooper is going to fight all the way back now into turn number two. Sending it down the inside goes Jason Cooper, but hanging it brilliantly around the outside goes Ben Sharp. Is he going to hang on that little bit more to take the place? No, he doesn't. Drops back into second place. But importantly, oh no, Ben Sharp spins, gets over onto the curb. The suspension bottoms out. He loops it around. Well done, though, from all the drivers to get out of the way. Good job from Ben Sharp to get the car back up and running off the racing line. He drops back But now, all of a sudden, it's these two, the championship protagonists, the championship rivals, together on the circuit, Cooper and Decourt. Oh, this is it. This is what we were waiting for. This is what we were hoping to see. And it is the championship main protagonists all together. As I think Lars Fischer as well has had a bit of a moment. He's all the way down now in 9th place.
Trying to find a replay on that, can't quite find it at the moment. But also further down in the field, I mean not that much further down, Michael Seal is now first of the Pro-Am category due to the bad start of Harley Moss, who's down to 6th position. Ashley Stimson's up 6 places in the Am category to 5th overall, and he's a long way ahead of Simon Robson, who's down in 15th overall.
This is huge for the championship. Simon Robson, let's not forget, has an 85-point advantage. But with performances like this from Ashley Stimson, he could come through late on in the championship, maybe even on the final race, and seal the championship. This could be huge for Ashley. He knows what he needs to do. Just finish up inside the top 10, and he's going to be in for a great haul of points as Simon Robson, all the way down in 16th place. And you know he's going to be asking his teammates in the Discord where Simon is, where his nearest
difficulties there for Ed, as we're seeing a side-by-side moment between the Douglas Stewart and Shane Piggott. It's a 3 wide going into turn 1. Oh, Douglas Stewart gets to the front of them, and they've got Ben Sharp hot on their heels chasing after them. Almost still 3 wide coming out of the first corner there, but Shane Piggott is still side-by-side with Douglas Stewart. But Andrew McEwen was actually the driver who got in front of all of them. Ben Sharp with a big move on the inside of Douglas Stewart. And this is just the battle for 12th, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, further up, Lars Fischer is on his comeback. He's back up to 6th place. We also have Adam McNally up 8 places to 10th position. What a start it's been for him. A car running wide there, 3 wide going into turn 5. Contact! The 94 car speeds it off, and the 2 Swift Cooper cars come together. James Clark is one of them, and he's the one who falls the most out of them. Down to 18th place he goes, our driver of the day from last week's round. Quite the drama.
Oh, sorry, I'm back. I've lost pictures for a moment. You're going to have to talk us through everything that's gone on. My computer's getting very excited about what's going on here. Alex, it's always in the final round where technology has to fail me. It's done so well up until now.
Yeah, it has to, as we see a Lars Fischer move on the inside of Ashley Stimson. Again, one of those fights where Ashley Stimson thinks this isn't my fight, so I'm going to pull out of it. But he still tries to maintain his speed. Quite a lot has gone on, Ed. We have got Adam McNally up 11 places to 7th place. He's trying to get his championship back in order. All he needs is a bad race, or 2 in fact, from Jason Cooper and Casper Decourt. But this race is going very well. We have a replay further back in the pack. Lots going on. Andy Thompson has had an incident, and he was the driver who got involved with Clark just a moment ago. It's Andrew McEwen on the inside, and the door closed. And it collects a few other cars as well. I think Ben Sharp was collected in that as well, and Shane Piggott. Quite an awkward incident indeed. It's quite a difficult track to overtake on. It's the Hungaroring. We saw that with the Formula 1, and we're seeing it again here already today.
Yeah, this is a very, very exciting season finale. I think I've actually seen as well Andy McEwen having a good race. He's up quite a few places since the start, all the way down towards the back, as Ben Sharp is in the pit lane. He's out of the running.
Yeah, a couple of drivers in the pits. Ben Sharp, one of them. It'll be damage on the car due to that incident with McEwen. And the replay we saw just a moment ago was quite a few drivers in there, Shane Piggott and Andy Thompson. So a race over for a few drivers, but they can come back for the remaining 3 races of the night and try and better themselves in those races. They won't be eligible for reverse grids unless they get themselves back out on the track fairly swift. But it's not looking likely with the damage that you have on those cars. Meanwhile, back at the front, it's still nose to tail between the 2 main championship protagonists of the pro category, Cooper and Decourt.
Yeah, Jason Cooper, Casper Decourt working together, or maybe fighting with one another. You can see the advances they have over Nick Clibbins. Is around about 2.5 seconds, and extending that margin all the time. But they are into only 9 minutes remaining of this first of 4 races for the season finale. You've seen as well, the performance up through the field from Adam McNally has been really strong, hasn't it? He's doing what he needs to do, try and minimise the losses in this first race. You know, he's not doing too bad. You can see he's right up behind Ashley Stimpson, whereas Simon Robson, he's not having a bad time either. He's back up a few more places, up into 11th.
Yeah, good comeback from Simon Robson. He's kept himself out of the incidents that have fought before him, and doing very well here to try and get himself back into the top 10. It's a bit of a stretch to get himself back up there. The gap between him and Andrew McEwen, it will update once they pass the pits. But 4 seconds is quite a way to catch up, particularly to a pro driver, with Simon Robson being an AM category driver. He's very much looking for a few more incidents to happen before him, but there are other races on further on into the night, and there might be reverse grids to favour some of these drivers.
Yeah, having a look as well at the Pro-Am Championship and seeing Michael Seal currently occupying first place with rivals Harley Moss and Douglas Stewart all the way down the back, as well as Craig Cockrell. So these two are having a bit of an old scrap, aren't they? A bit of a good fight together. Michael Seal's closest championship rival, let's not forget, is Craig Cockrell, currently in 14th place. Maybe even down into 15th, is looking down on the inside, trying to make up for incidents early on in the race. James Clark is going to be very quick. You can see him almost bumping his way past Craig Cockrell into the chicane. Very, very quick, but needs to be patient about these moves. His fastest lap of the race so far has just been set by Casper de Court. He is on a mission. Yeah, big push from these two drivers, breaking away from the pack again. And it's just been a class of their own this season. Seems at the moment they're working together a little bit. I just wonder if Casper de Court is trying to conserve his tyres a little bit more. They do wear quite quickly on these MX5s. And just trying to hold himself back a little bit and wait towards the end of the race. Either that, or it is quite deadlocked between them two, and they are so even on pace that de Court is struggling to catch those final few tenths to get to within overtake potential territory. I think you might have been right on the first time. We know that Casper de Court is quite happy to stay in behind for the majority of the race. Then the final laps is where we tend to see him make these charges. We've noticed it time and time again, how Casper likes to run these races, and you know, I won't be too surprised if we see him go for a late charge and hope that there's no reply back from Jason before the end of this race. He leaves it late, but sometimes he does time it to perfection, as Adam McNally is up another place now into 7th place. You can see just up the road Ashley Stimpson not too far in front. Ashley though realises that he's been dropping back a couple of places since the start of this race, since his brilliant start to the race, and all the while Simon Robson has been able to make up a few places. Championship rival as well as stablemate, teammate in Syntech Racing. Maybe they'll be trying to work together, but also don't forget Ashley Stimpson has got a championship to try and wrench back into his control. Simon Robson though knows what he needs to do, and that is going to be keep Craig Schill in behind.
There's a lot for these drivers to think about tonight, and the important thing is to take it one race at a time. A lot of points on offer in each race, and the key thing is to keep it clean, not to push too hard and force yourself into a mistake. Just keep it cool. You know, you only need to worry about the championship later on in the night. Until then, just keep things cool, get it to the end. What might be on Simon Robson's mind right now is, well, Ashley's got himself a couple more points on me, I'll get some on him in the next race. But what a race this has been for Ashley. 6th place overall in the for an AM category driver, and a brilliant start to help reinforce that.
It's all about getting those good starts in these first races. It sets you up nicely for the remainder of the night. Michael Seal, the 4th place finish, will be very chuffed with his performance so far. And as well, he's not too far away from Nick Clibbins. Having a look at the lap times coming through, Michael was marginally quicker than Nick, and with the slipstream, he's only going to get getting faster and faster. Don't count out Michael from getting an overall podium here, you know. Could be on the cards as well, though, with Lars Fischer in behind. Is Michael going to maybe give up that one position and then hope that by the end of the race, with a bit of slipstream assistance from Lars, who's a quicker car, can maybe get back up into 4th place ahead of Nick? It's going to be a big question for Michael. The one thing he knows he needs to do is just finish this race. Is still in the lead of the Pro-Am Championship, Michael, so knows what he needs to do is just finish this race where he is inside this top 5.
Yeah, again, pick your battles. He's very, very far ahead of Harley Moss in the overall standings of this race so far, so if Lars Fischer does catch up, just needs to remember what fight he's in, perhaps let him by, or if Lars Fischer throws in a move, might need to be in the mindset of surrendering that position. These are the mindsets these drivers have to go through in a championship winning situation. As we head towards the final phase of the race, not a lot going on right now, but still close as ever between these two at the front. And I think if Casper de Court wants to get a move in, he's going to have to prepare it very, very soon, Ed, as this track is quite tricky to overtake on, so you've got to pick your moments. Yeah,
you do, but again, I think Casper is very smart. He's got this lap and one more still to go. Maybe a slightly longer race than 15 minutes. I think we're going to add an extra little bit on to this race because of just how fast these two have been going through so far. Casper de Court, Jason Cooper battling it out for the win, battling it out for the championship. And I mean, Jason Cooper has been setting the fastest laps of his race on the past couple of turns on this circuit. Very quick stuff from Jason. Really responding to Casper de Court's earlier pace, but you can see Casper, I think he's starting to turn at the pace out a little bit more now. You can see using a little bit more of the circuit, a little bit more of his tyres. This could be a great little fight. We're going to go on board for a little while with Casper de Court. Going into this right-hander, which I always struggle to get right. You need to get a nice late apex, but keep the speed up while turning through the corner. It's so tricky to get right. Then the chicane, so fun when you get it right. Nicely over the inside to sort of narrow out the corner on the left-hander. Through the sweeping left, where you can just carry the speed again through the right. A lovely flowing section of the track. Use the brakes to pitch the nose down, transfer the weight through the corner beautifully from the pair of them. Casper de Court trying to stay as close as he can, doing a decent job of it as well, sending it into the corners. You can see he's much closer this time than he was last time around. I think this could be the lap for Casper de Court to try and make the position now into turn 1. Really using the circuit to his advantage, but Jason Cooper through these final couple of bends is super strong and extends his advantage now. So a bit of a cat and mouse game. You can see where de Court is quick, you can see where Cooper is slightly faster as well. Now into the final bend, it's all about the run from Casper. What can he do? Jason Cooper gets it nicely onto the exit, uses all of the runoff area and not a little bit more. And now here we see de Court go for it, the white flag being waved. The gap coming down. Is there going to be anywhere through from Casper? He's going to have to send it late if he does, but isn't able to find a run, find the way past.
Thought about it.
Slots in behind, but he thought about it. You can see he's got a good run now, though, into turn 2. Is the door going to open for de Court? He's going to see, you can see Cooper going slightly more defensive, moving towards the inside line. de Court running to the outside to take the more favourable racing line, and it's all about keeping your foot flat to the floor, closing down into the slipstream up through the crest. de Court is closing down but not able to find a move. It's going to be from a long way back, a very late daring move if he sends it, which he isn't able to do so. Cooper going defensive down on the inside, fending off de Court, who looks all the way around the outside, then gets the switchback manoeuvre. Has he got the overlap? No, he doesn't. So it's the chicane now. Jason Cooper will have the advantage. de Court looking one way, then the other as they dive over the curbs. And I think Cooper has been able to fend off, because these next corners, it's so difficult to pass. He just needs to weather the storm, and Jason Cooper will extend his championship advantage to his teammate.
not by many points, but you can see the court wants every little point he can get. He does not want this going down to a single point being between these drivers. He's got very few opportunities left though, Ed.
He doesn't have long. You are bang on the money to court. Only a few more corners to go. You can see through the corner where Cooper is super strong. He's able to bend off Casper de Court. I think Casper left his assault a little bit too late. Now into the final bend they will come. Jason Cooper leading the pair of them. It will be a 5-star motorsport 1-2, but not in the order Casper would have been hoping for. Jason Cooper, they're rounding out the final bend in the lead. Oh, the race takes yet another pole position and race victory in the first race. A brilliant drive from Jason Cooper, especially with his championship in mind, extending his advantage by 10 points. Now to Casper de Court. With Nick Clemens coming through in third place. Fisher ahead of Seal, who finishes in fifth place. Stimson finishes in sixth. Good for his AM Championship hopes to score some very strong points. And then all the way down, you can see championship rivals in Brown for Seal. Harley Moss finishing in 8th place. And in AM class, you can see Simon Robson. Well, that was a very, very close 4-wide finish at the line, but Robson just able to win out on that occasion in 12th place. Loses a few points of his advantage now to Stimson.
Yeah, quite the race we saw there indeed. Quite a shake-up in the AM category championship we saw there. Simon Robson has got it all to do in races 2, 3 and 4. With reverse grids, it certainly is going to make it exciting. But speaking of reverse grids, we will provide the spinning wheel to find out who is going to be, find out what is going to be our reverse grid order for the next race. The reverse grid for race 2, based on the results of this race, will be a top 20 reverse grid for race 2.
So 20 reverse. We'll find out who that promotes onto front row, onto pole position. Of course, just to remember, drivers who finish on the lead lap or one lap down are eligible for points and the reverse grid, but any more than that and you score nothing and you can't be put on pole position with the spinning wheel. But looking towards the top of the field rather than the back, we can see Jason Cooper is classified as your race victor with a great late defense from Casper de Court. What ramifications could that have for the championship, I wonder, with Nick Clemens in third, head of Lars Fischer. Brilliant fight back up through the field following a poor start for Lars Fischer. Michael Seal, 5th place for the Pro-Am driver. Brilliant stuff for his Pro-Am championship hopes, head of Ashley Stimson, who again does well for his AM championship hopes with a 6th place finish. Adam McNally there in 7th place, doing what he needs to do to minimise the losses from this first race, considering he wasn't able to take to the qualifying session, with Harley Moss in 8th place, James Neve 9th, Annie McEwen 10th, head of James Clark, Simon Robson, Craig Cockrell, Craig Schill, Douglas Stewart, Julian Schreier, Adam Delmont, Liam Silkstone, Glenn Humberston, and Mark Oliver will be starting from reverse grid pole position, head of Brian Stewart, Sam Smith, Fiona Siddons, and Fiona Siddons is actually last of the drivers to score points. She finishes in 23rd place ahead of Shane Piggott, 5 laps down, Ben Sharp, 6 laps down, and Andy Thompson, 7 laps down. So a few drivers not able to make it towards the end of the race, Alex, but that was a great fight up towards the front from Jason Cooper and Casper de Court. Much the story of this championship being played out in that first race.
Yeah, you could clearly see they're both not taking too many risks, but they're both very, very conscious at the same time of getting every little point they can to help themselves later on in the night. It is later on in the night where we are going to see a few more do or die moves. I think the drivers just want to get there without any too many dramas happening to themselves, because that will just throw it out the window for them. Any dramas tonight, and that's what a lot of these drivers really will be conscious of. But some great racing we saw across the pack. The big movers, Adam McNally as usual, and as usual actually Andrew McEwen up 11 places as well to 10th place in that race. We like seeing the big movers in this series, and they were the two in this race.
Yeah, we do like to shine the spotlight on drivers that have came from the back all the way up through. Both those drivers, Adam McNally and Andy McEwen, not making it to the qualifying session, both serving exclusions from qualifying. But now that's out of the way, we should be able to see them up on the grid for race 2. A race 2 that's going to see, let's not forget, Mark Oliver and Glenn Humberston, 2 AM drivers on the front row. So stay tuned to Absolute Sim Racing. The second race of the evening at the Hungaroring is sure to come in a few moments' time.
Oh, you make me wanna talk back to you. Say it like that. If I hate you, then find someone new. Baby, but you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill.
Doesn't really matter.
matter, 'cause you're here with me now. It doesn't really matter, 'cause I feel so free now. It doesn't really matter.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Absolute Sim Racing. It was a great fight, wasn't it, between two championship protagonists, Jason Cooper and Casper de Kort. But it was Jason Cooper who won the first race of the evening. But he's going to be starting all the way down towards the back of the field. Yet again, his championship rival, starting alongside him. 20th and 19th is where we will see Jason Cooper and Casper de Court start this second race of the evening. And they're going to have a lot to do to come up. We can see as well all of the polls in the YouTube chat. Interestingly, majority of you feel that this is Jason Cooper's championship to win. And to be fair, I think I'm in agreement. Jason has looked very strong all season long and has come back through with a brilliant turn of points in the last few rounds and could be definitely on track to secure and defend his crown, because let's not forget he was last season's champion as well, Alex.
Yep, he knows how to win championships, and that's certainly going to favour him tonight. A good performance in race 1 as well, a very good defending performance, but reverse grids now to contend with. And this is where things get real tricky. But we have seen the likes of de Court and Cooper, McNally, and many other drivers. Clark last week was brilliant at cutting through the pack. It's going to be crucial tonight how well they execute getting through the pack. It's gone so well for them for a fair few rounds now, so let's see if it continues. One wrong move or one bit of bad luck could be all it takes tonight.
Yeah, interestingly as well, we have a poll up as well for the Pro-Am category. Interestingly, majority of you, over 50%, think Harley Moss could come out with the goods this evening. We'll see what he can do, though, in this second race, because the grid is up on your screens. Mark Oliver and Glenn Humston starting on the front row with Liam Silkstone in third, ahead of Adam Delmont, Julian Schroer, Douglas Stewart, Craig Schill, Craig Cockrell, Simon Robson, James Clark in 10th, ahead of Andy McEwen, James Neve, Harley Moss, Adam McNally, Ashley Simpson, Michael Seal, Lars Fisher, Nick Clemens, Casper de Court, Jason Cooper, Brian Stewart, Sam Smith, Fiona Siddons, Shane Piggott, Ben Sharp, and Andy Thompson, starting all the way down in 26th place. So the cars, Alex, getting started on the grid. Championship hotting up as ever. The Pro-Am's very close still. And of course, the pros coming through at the back could be exciting as well to see how Jason Cooper and championship rival Casper de Court fare this time out. Lights coming on. Mark Oliver from pole position. Glenn Humberston up alongside him. And you can actually see Glenn Humberston. Well, you can't see, but we saw in the Discord chat, Glenn Humberston has been reporting a lot of lack of rear end grip. Is he going to get the car nicely dialed in, though, this race? You see him defending the inside line from the 777. Adam Delmont looking to go around the outside, but can't opt for that just yet, as Liam Silkstone, teammate, was occupying that spot. James Neve, you can just see from Matthews Logistics in the thick of things, battling with Harley Moss all the way down in 10th place. Right in front, Oliver is able to hold on for the moment to the lead, as down the inside goes Adam Delmont, the 7X8 iRacing driver, getting off to a good start there. Up one place, could even try and make it one more, as he's right up in behind Casper de Court. And who's that alongside him? Ben Sharp, all the way from the back of the field. Ben Sharp already up 6 places, cracking start for Ben. Jason Cooper is up 4 places, so Jason's having an amazing start. As into the lead goes Adam Delmont. And off the road goes Simon Robson. Oh no, Simon Robson with rear end suspension damage. That is huge. Don't forget, he was leading the AM Championship. And he's got a fair whack up the rear. Let's have a look at this coming into fast left-hander. And oh, it was Delmont. It wasn't Delmont, no, it was McNally.
Oh, it's a hard one to judge that. 2 people on his inside going into the corner. It's despair for Robson as he reverts to the pits, and this puts things well in favour of Ashley Stimson at this point. He'll have seen he's reverted to the pits. This is crunch time now for Stimson. The points are going to rack up for him as we see a big 3 wide situation further back there. That was Lars Fisher defending from, I think it was Ben Sharp. Lars Fisher completes a move on Michael Seal. This is very tricky business from these drivers in the mid-pack here. Oh, and there's an incident further up, I think. Fiona Siddons involved with Sam Smith and Brian Stewart towards the back of the pack. On sideways from the 227 car, Sam Smith, and it just collects all the cars That's the kind of luck you don't need at this point in the season. But at the front, with an astounding lead so far, Adam Delmont at the front by 2.2 seconds.
Yeah, all of that brings the championship so close. And look in the background, yeah, big moment coming into the first corner. Car's dipping out of the way as James Clark doesn't hold the brakes. He keeps the car rolling backwards, which is interesting to say the least, but thankfully he isn't collected off of the back of that. There is no further instance up ahead, and that is Adam McNally. That is essentially his championship going up in smoke as he has to pull off into the pits. And let's have a look at the incident. This was all the drivers, they were all coming back together at the same point, and then there was a tap from behind between, that was Lars Fischer, I think. Just a slight tap up behind, nothing much, but smallest of contact sends him into the wall, and I think also sends him into the side of, was that Andy Thompson? I think that might have been. So big moments here in the championship, but look at the pair of them, look at the two pro championship contenders, Jason Cooper, Casper de Court. They're just inseparable, aren't they? They're wiggling their way through the crowd here. It's been, I'm going to say, they've been a bit lucky to avoid all of it so far. It's been very scary moments in this opening part of race 2 here. But what a brilliant breakthrough they've had here. But there's still nose to tail with third place in race 1. Nick Clibbins right ahead of him as we see an attempt on the inside from Jason Cooper. It's a very difficult corner to overtake on. Is turn 12 there at the bottom of the hill as we head back up the hill. Cooper's got to be careful. He's going to go for moves on Clibbins, and that could open the door to Casper de Court, who could pounce at any moment here. Yeah, he could really just absolutely send it, could de Court, but I don't think he's going to be thinking about doing any of that. Just biding his time, realises that sure you can lose a few points, but if you get involved in an incident and don't finish the race at all, you lose even more. So it's all about choosing your battles smartly. As Douglas Stewart that goes down to the inside, but in the background Jason Cooper's going down the inside of Nick Clibbins, sending it through nicely. Does that open the door wide for Casper to fancy a little bit of a run through? Going to the outside, doesn't quite work out. Is he going to go down on the inside? No. Instead opens up the corner massively, getting onto the red and white entry curb. Big move from Cooper. Definitely a big move from Cooper. Put a car between himself and his championship rival, Casper de Court, as they now come down the hill, then soaring all the way back up again. I love this Hungaroring because the elevation change and the way the corners flowing together is brilliant. But look at that, Clibbins runs wide and loses a position. All of a sudden around the outside, de Court is going to send it, but gets onto the marbles, gets onto the dirty side of the track, slides all four wheels. And is he going to lose out? Is he going to be able to send it around the outside? Yes, he does. Great move that from Casper de Court. Able to reduce the gap now between himself and Cooper. There's no longer a car separating first and second in the championship, but there's a spin up in front. Oh, there's a huge moment. Cooper comes to a standstill, and Casper de Court, he had nothing to lose. He put his foot flat to the floor and sent it on through. He's up into 4th place. Yes, but Jason Cooper has lost out heavily because of that. This is big for the championship. I think he's got away with it with minimal damage. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a replay of that once it all calms down a little bit. It all happened ahead. I think it all started with between Douglas Stewart and Glenn Humberston. We're going to watch it here. This was the battle for third. Corner they go. Oh, and I think there was a bit of contact on the rear. There was, yeah. Oh, and Jason Cooper did avoid it. He just came to a stop, and no one hit him, so Jason Cooper did get away with that very well indeed. He realised that the punishment for getting involved in the contact was much worse than the punishment for stopping and losing some places. Jason Cooper, is that going to be what seals the championship for him? He is going to lose out to Casper de Court, who's already up into 4th place. So let's have a look at that incident, maybe on board with Casper de Court, because you know what, he kept his foot flat to the floor and went on through that incident. Let's see. Casper, he sees the incident on board. Let's have a look. Going to go down on the left-hand side, I think, to avoid it. Sees the incident up in front. Sees it going on the right-hand side. Immediately opens up. You can see the car spinning around, but he just realises, right, just go through, hope for the best. That was very scary stuff. New pair of race overalls, please, for Casper de Court. But you know what? He was very brave and he got the move done. And you can see him behind. His teammates aren't too far back. You can see Jason Cooper just battling it out with Ben Shupp, who himself is going for a move on Stimpson, who knows that his championship rival and teammate is out of the running. This could be a huge opportunity to get the AM Championship swinging in his favour.
Absolutely, this is a big opportunity for Stimpson right now, but he has got two big name drivers behind him, Cooper and Ben Sharp. As Cooper gets past Ben Sharp at the chicane, straight to the inside on the next corner. Cooper is not messing around trying to get this back. There's just under half of the race left. He's got plenty of time to make up a few positions here, get himself back to within grabbing distance of the court, not losing too many points. This might have been a masterstroke from Cooper, who essentially just stopped in front of all the traffic. Might have been a masterstroke.
This could be very big for Jason Cooper, doing maybe the sensible thing and getting as safely through the incident as possible. But Decourt, he kind of had to go for it, didn't he? He saw the incident, he saw the gap going for it, and I think if he slowed down at all, he would have been caught up in all of the mess, all of the happenings on. You can actually have a look at the top of the timing sheets, just ahead of Harley Moss. Casper Decourt is looking for a move on Mark Oliver. You can see, look at the nose to tail coming into start-finish line and up towards the first corner. Casper going for the move, can see the chance through, up into third place on the brakes. Is Casper going to get the move done? Late on the brakes, great stuff from Mark to try and hold on, but isn't able to do that. And now all of a sudden Casper can see Liam Silkstone not too far up the road either. I think Delmont's a little bit too far away, but Casper can definitely get up into second place here. Just needs to get past Silkstone safely.
Absolutely. And Silkstone not in the championship running for the Pro-Am category, but first in his category and on the podium right now. This could be a good result for Silkstone to see out his season. So he'd be very much looking forward to this race to end shortly as Decourt takes to the outside, will attempt an undercut coming out of the corner. Very close to contact there with the rear right quarter panel of Silkstone, but Decourt gets through with a very blasting run out of the corner to get it past the Excite Racing car.
As it stands at the moment, with Casper Decourt now up into second place, he's going to be getting 90 points. Jason Cooper in 7th place gets 74 points. That's a 16 point swing even to Casper Decourt's favour as it stands. Of course that can all change, but all of a sudden it's going back towards Casper here. This championship is going right down to the wire. Jason Cooper knows what he needs to do though. Needs to send it up the inside of Harley Moss, which he does. Great move there from Jason, but runs a little bit wide. Still able to rejoin the circuit. Up ahead, Ben Sharp has gotten through as well. That's crucial because Ben Sharp, he's a very peddler. He can get involved in the mix and maybe send a move on Jason Cooper into the first corner.
Absolutely. It's going to be a battle we're going to have to keep an eye on. Harley Moss, second place in the Pro-Am category as well. Realised again, it's not his fight. He's going to let him go and just focus on his own race. He's a few places ahead of Michael Seal, who you could consider Moss's biggest championship rival in this. 67 points down on Seal coming into tonight. And Seal, I think what Seal is doing, he's just racking up a few points here and there. I think his biggest... Whoa, big move there on the inside from James Neve, was that? No, sorry, do excuse me, it wasn't. That was a big incident there going into turn one. Let's see if we can get a replay of it.
McEwen got caught up in it, as did Ben Sharp. Two drivers that lost out hugely. Let's have a look in behind, shall we? And that was Harley Moss. Oh, and I don't know if that was really on. Harley Moss getting tapped, and then I think was that Piggott tapping around McEwen that we just saw. There was two separate incidents all going on. We're going to see what happened to Andy McEwen. I think it might have been Shane Piggott. Was it him just missing his braking marker, or was it actually between McEwen and Seal? Oh no, Piggott massively missed his braking mark, and McEwen just gets net coded out of that fight, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the main taking out of that was Harley Moss's move on Ben Clark. That could come back to haunt him after that. Later, it will be the provisional standings we reveal to you at the end of the broadcast here. With Harley Moss involved in an incident there, that could come back to haunt him when it comes to the post-race protest reviews, as it will affect the championship standings if it doesn't fall in his favour. But with all that happening, he now has Michael Seal very close behind him. in the race right here.
Yeah, I think any penalty point you accrue on the final round of this championship is then multiplied by 5 and subtracted from your score. So that could be very damaging for Harley Moss's chances. I think something like that could see him lose potentially 15, maybe even 20 points, which isn't necessarily going to be what he's hoping for in his championship fights. Of course, it'll be our provisional standards, like you mentioned, that we can provide you. As look at the pace shown by the 5-star motorsport drivers, all of them making their way up through the field nice and quickly. Jason Cooper trying to get a switchback manoeuvre as Lars Fischer gets ahead of Mark Oliver, and Lars can actually see the podium just up the road. Excite driver Liam Silkstone, Pro-Am, occupying 3rd place, and Jason Cooper, huge credit to him, he's made a good turn of pace back up through the field so far.
Do not write off Jason Cooper getting 3rd place in this race. He's only got a few cars ahead of him to get into that position, one of them being his teammate. So this could be an interesting end to the race. There we go, we see Mark Oliver go wide there, going into turn 5, and that allows Jason Cooper through into 5th place. Ahead of him now is Lars Fischer and Excite Racing 194 driver Liam Silkstone. And we see Jason Cooper, he's so quick through that chicane, he rapidly gains on Fischer and Silkstone ahead. This could be a big finish for this battle for 3rd here.
It could be very, very huge for the final podium places, but when you see these huge battles, sometimes they have huge consequences later on in the championship and also in the race in terms of fight being kept nice and clean. Look at down the inside, Lars Fischer looking for it on Silkstone. Silkstone gives him the track space, opts to hang it around the outside, and there's I thought there was going to be a bit of contact, a little bit of a bump potentially between Cooper and Silkstone. Silkstone tries to fend his way through. Adam Dunmont has already crossed the line and is got one more lap still to go. Look at this though, down the inside, Cooper's going to send it. He's going to try and get it to stick, which he does, but gets a poorer exit out of the corner. White flag being waved. Silkstone, he's going to go for it. He's going to try and send it. Cooper's going to get a nice healthy slipstream from his teammate, but it's not enough. The slingshot working in the favour of Silkstone into turn 1. He's going to have to send it on the brakes, but look at how late Jason Cooper takes it. Wow, what a send that was around the outside into the first bend. And all of the 5-star motorsport drivers, they've made up 17 places for Casper, 14 places for Lars Fischer, and 16 places for Jason Cooper. Mega stuff.
That was a big move into turn 1 there. I've never seen anyone go that late on the brakes going into turn 1. It was almost like Nelson Piquet back in the day. You know the move I'm talking about, around the outside of Senna, I think it was. Oh, that was an insane overtake from Cooper there, or retake should we say. And now 3rd is on the cards for him, literally as I said it a lap ago. 3rd is on the cards. Will Lars Fischer let him through, or will battle commence between the two?
Casper's telling him to keep him in behind, and I think Jason's saying, get out of my way please, I need these points. Yeah. Where do Lars Fischer's loyalties lie? I think at this point he's got to just run for himself, and if Cooper goes for a send, obviously make sure that there's no contact, but if he's not there to make the move, then don't fall off the circuit for him, I think is going to be Lars Fischer's moment. Again, acting the 3rd wheel in this championship fight between his two teammates is Lars Fischer, and I'm sure both of us know, Alex, what it's like to be a 3rd great, but all the way up in front, star of the show, no 3rd wheel, no 2nd wheel. It's been only Adam Delmont to worry about for the race lead. He comes out of the final corner, and he will cap off this 2nd race in style. Out of the final bend, a little bit of a power slide almost. It's almost like the MX5. Does it have enough power to get a power slide going? Well, Adam Delmont powers across the line in 1st place. Casper de Court there in 2nd, doing a good job for his championship. Reeling back in Jason Cooper, who finishes 4th in behind 3rd place. Lars Fischer, who gets up onto the podium. Great stuff there from Lars after a slightly disappointing start to the evening. Gets back up there in podium places. Then Liam Silkstone in the Pro-Am class, finishing in 5th place, top of his division, ahead of Mark Oliver, who finishes top of the AMS, and Adam Delmont doing a little bit of donuts on the exit of turn 1. He's definitely excited to get back up onto the top step of the podium.
Yeah, why not? Why not? It's a big runoff area, turn 1. Go for it. He's gone a bit camera shy now, has Adam, but we did get a glimpse of his glamorous donuts at the end there. But as we have most drivers classified, we'll go for another spinning motion, which will be the spinning wheel. That will determine our reverse grids for the next race of the night.
Yeah, we've just seen Delmont spin around. Now we've got Gil spinning around. Where does it land, Alex?
We will find out. The reverse grid, based on the results of race 2 here, will be 13. So not a big reverse at all. Top 13 of this race will be reversed.
Oh, 13. Unlucky for some. Who's going to be coming out on top this evening? Oh, for this third race, we're at the halfway point now with 2 races gone, 2 more to go. And the championship, if it wasn't hot up already, it's going to be soon reaching boiling point, I think, between all of the 3 classes. Big moment, wasn't it, in the AM class with Simon Robson finishing down in 26th place, not scoring any points, whereas you've got Ashley Stimpson up in 7th place, and all of a sudden Simon Robson's 80-point advantage is going to be brought down to nothing, it seems. So classified results there up on your screens. Adam Delmont wins the second race here at the Hungaroring ahead of Casper de Court. Lars Fischer in 3rd and Jason Cooper in 4th. Casper and Jason again finishing close together as they are in the championship close as well. Liam Silkstone finishing in 5th ahead of Mark Oliver. Ashley Stimpson 7th, getting some much needed points in the AM championship ahead of James Steve Harley Moss, reducing the deficit only just to Michael Seal. And of course, there are some question marks hanging over Harley Moss's head following an incident earlier on in that race. Didn't see anything coming through for Michael, so a top 10. Very good for him. James Clark in 11th with front row starter for the third race, Andy McEwen, with Craig Schill starting from pole position. That's a very exciting front row to see. 2 of them very close together, and Andy McEwen could have a chance to snatch another race victory should everything go to plan. Sam Smith there in 14th place, just outside of the reverse grid pole position spots, ahead of Julian Schroer, Brian Stewart, Shane Piggott, Fiona Sins, Ben Sharp, Craig Cockrell there, 20th place, last of the finisher drivers. Higher rate of attrition in the third race with Glenn Humberson, Douglas Stewart, Nick Clemens, Adam McNally, Andy Thompson, and Simon Robson, all not scoring points in the second race of the evening. So, Alex, we've had another exciting race. The track temperature was a little bit hotter, which maybe was the reason why we saw some drivers losing the rear end, getting involved in incidents. Maybe this next race will throw up a few more surprises, though. And of course, with championship rivals Casper de Court, Jason Cooper starting in the mid-pack, what can they do to come through and maybe set a move on either Andy McEwen or Craig Schill in the dying moments of the race? Because those 2, they will be starting up on the front row. Exciting stuff still to come on Absolute Sim Racing. We're going to be back with you very shortly. Hello everybody, welcome to Absolute Sim Racing here for the third race of the evening at the Hungaroring in the final round of this, the BSR SIM3D MX5 trophy. And we've been doing a little bit of maths in the comments, what's good old-fashioned mental maths, trying to figure out what on earth is going on for the championship fight. And well, you can see, based on the performances so far this evening, Casper de Court and Jason Cooper, they're tied on points for this evening, both with 180 points from the first two races. So the championship is basically close as it ever was coming into this round. However, then in the AM class, we're doing some work out and figuring out what the fallout is from Simon Robson's non-finish and Ashley Stimpson's amazing performances. And we've worked out that Ashley Stimpson now is provisionally the AM class championship leader, but only by 9 points. So it is in Ashley's favour, but only just. So Simon Robson can still win this championship back. He had 85 points, I believe, to his name, to his advantage going into this round, and all of a sudden it's seemingly been evaporated in the course of 2 races. But what can he do in this third race to claw something back? You can see the cars up on the grid now. We can run you through the starting grid order. It is Craig Schill and Andy McEwen making up the front row of the grid, with James Clark in third, Michael Seal in fourth, Harley Moss in fifth, ahead of James Neve, Ashley Stimpson, Mark Oliver, Liam Silkstone, and Jason Cooper in 10th place, ahead of Lars Fisher, Casper de Court, Adam Delmont, Sam Smith, Julian Schroer, Ryan Stewart, Shane Piggott, Fiona Siddons, Ben Sharp, Craig Cockrell, Glenn Humberston, Douglas Stewart, Nick Clemens, Adam McNally, and Simon Robson getting onto the grid for this third race. See the track temperature still relatively hot, 33 degrees, same as it was last time. Means that the drivers don't need to spend too long getting their tyres up into the operating window, but of course, tyres won't be operating at their best and they won't be as grippy. The circuit's a little bit hotter, so we're going to see some rear end sliding potentially into the first few corners. The lights coming on, Craig Shaw and Andy McEwen battling it out wheel to wheel into the first corner. You can guarantee that. Who's going to get the better start though? Craig Shaw gets underway from pole position. McEwen seems to bob down slightly, moves into the slipstream. Great start that was from Craig Shaw, and Andy's now going to be looking more behind rather than up ahead as James Clark is closing in the gap through towards turn 1. McEwen hard on the brakes, looking to the inside. Schill actually gives him plenty of space, maybe a bit too much space, runs wide out of the corner. McEwen and Schill wheel to wheel now. Down they come in towards turn 2. McEwen and Schill with the inside line. Andy's going to send it right the way around the outside, but it's not going to work out for him. He's going to drop back, trying to slot in now. Single file, does he? No, he doesn't. He opts to fight it through on the inside. They still go side by side, and it's a spin from McEwen. Cold tyres. It's exactly what we saw from Ben Sharp in the first race.
Oh, it's almost a carbon copy, isn't it? Just cold tyres letting the rear
spinning in the background. Well, that wasn't Sauer Morrison, sorry, spinning in the background. That was, oh my word, there's a contact up ahead. That was Adam McNally getting pitched around. Oh dear, that was Sam Smith spinning around in the background. My apologies. I thought for a moment that was Simon Robson. Well, that could have been the champion down the drain. As it stands, it's still Ashley Stimpson, high way up there in 4th place. But McEwen doing exactly the same mistake as what we saw happen to Ben Sharp in the first race.
Quite a tricky start again to this race. A lot of drivers avoiding incidents. Adam McNally, if he had any more luck tonight, he'd have none at all. It's just been a miserable night for him, and it definitely does put a chance of winning this championship out of the window now for himself, unfortunately. But at the front we got James Clark, who was a race 3 winner last time out in the foggy Alton Park. He's out in front right now, and in 2nd place it is the coming into tonight's round, Pro-Am category championship leader Michael Seal, up there in the number 1 spot for category 2 overall.
Yeah, Michael is kind of really putting the pressure on James Clark. If you can get into the lead of the race, he's shown excellent pace at the across the evening here at Hungaroring. Getting the circuits confused up at the Hungaroring. Looks like he's been one of the drivers that's been predicting this all week long. preparation for the season finale. Really battling nice and hard with Clark, who gives him the space on the apex and knocks the around the outside. So the pair of them keep themselves first and second place. But look at Cooper, look at the court, battling it out to court, trying to find a way through, not able to. And that was Cooper trying to get past on Fisher. So again, 5-star Motorsport, they always seem to be together on the track at the same point. They're inseparable, but they also are just so evenly matched on pace.
Yeah, train kept it rolling all night long. They're doing very well, keeping themselves together and breaking through the pack here. There's been relatively no drama, apart from the near miss from Cooper earlier on, but this is another good blast through the field, and they're inseparable at the moment, which probably isn't what either driver in this championship fight wants to see. Oh, and something's happened further back. Liam Silkstone is involved in an instant. We'll get a replay now. It looks like he was involved with Julian Schroer.
That's Shane Piggott in behind. Shane Piggott looking down the inside into the chicane. Doesn't really have much of an overlap to Shane Piggott, and then all of a sudden Julian Schroer gets caught up in the action. It clears as well. Seems to get a bit of a bump, but then the car miraculously fixes itself. I think that was Shane Piggott just kind of left his nose on the inside. Didn't look like he was sending the move. Just kind of kept his car in an awkward position.
Yeah, a bit of a strange one going into that chicane. One the stewards will look at later, certainly. But usually what happens when the car repairs itself, the magic of iRacing, normally comes down to netcode. Oh, as we see very close, Jason Cooper on the outside of Harley Moss. Harley Moss, of course, we saw involved in an incident in race 2. Don't want to dwell on that too much, but very close between him and Cooper going through turn 14, the 15th corner on this circuit. And now they run down towards turn 1, battling close together. Lars Fischer has broken ahead of Moss, but Cooper is still close with the court. Might be a car between them, but Moss runs wide, and the court will get the undercut. The notorious 5-star Motorsport cars very good with that undercut, and gets a good run going into turn 2. And the two 5-star Motorsport cars move up a position again.
Yeah, if we look at Clash, that's what they're doing. A very good job of working together at getting through the field. This is why they're such a strong team and why they finish so well, because it's not just one driver that's quick. All of them are quick, but they work together as a team. You can see now Lars Fischer just trying to throw off Stimpson off of his line, and if he can't make a move, then Stimpson's going to be compromised, and all of a sudden that can open the door for Cooper or the court to come through. So it's really about working together as a team, but credit to Stimpson, he's defending not just from one car, but essentially defending from all three 5-star Motorsport cars.
Yeah,
from where he is on the circuit.
That's an attack you definitely don't want to see in your mirrors, but credit to Stimpson, he's doing well so far, the 888 machine. But Lars Fischer, again, you said it earlier, he's the third wheel in this battle between the two main championship protagonists, and there was a little bit of contact, bumper to bumper, not too much to worry about, but you can see the court is getting a little bit desperate now, I think. But yeah, Lars Fischer, the third wheel in this, he doesn't want to be. What does he do with Jason Cooper and DeCourt behind them, or are they just in a train trying to get through the pack? It certainly seems that way at the moment, but at the moment, as a trio, they're struggling to get by Ashley Stimpson.
Yeah, it's been a consistently strong showing from all the 5-star Motorsport drivers, to give them all credit. Working well together, working as one unit, which is something that you love to see, isn't it, when teammates all seem to stick to a plan, all seem to be working together in unison. Coming up through the field, Lars Fischer down the inside, getting a bit of bump draft assistance from into turn 1, but Stimpson, the credit definitely has to go to Liam. He's been able to fend off this assault for so long, and he's been finishing so well as an AM driver. Let's not forget across both the first and second, and on track for another good result in the third, as just down the inside comes the 107 of Fischer. Stimpson's going to hang around the outside, then hold the inside line, try and come through, bumping over the inside curb, but doesn't loop it around. Is he going to be able to hold on to this position? Do you know what? I think he has studied. He's going to have his nose just ahead into the fast left-hander, and he does. Great stuff from Liam Stimpson here. Lars Fischer looking around the outside. Stimpson's just going to hold on the inside, and oh my word, Lars Fischer, I think, turned him just a little bit too early, perhaps. Jason Cooper's going to have a look down the inside now, and I think will get the move done on his teammate Mr. Chicane, yes, they do. They invert those positions. Fisher runs slightly compromised and slightly compromises Casper de Court as well. All of a sudden, these two have lost ground to Jason. But I think they'll be able to close that gap back down. Let's look at Ben Sharp. Great opportunistic move. Harley Moss was forced off of line a little bit slower. Ben Sharp is trying to take advantage of it. Then gets the outside line and has to drop back in behind. Almost a great 10. A great little bit of smart racecraft shown by Ben Sharp. Look at that. Liam Stimson, how is he able to hold on for so long? This is brilliant stuff. This is driver of the round worthy stuff, I think.
I think so, yeah. He's done his homework tonight. You can clearly tell. Brilliant race 1, brilliant race 2, and race 3 is going very, very well as well. And look at him holding off the championship leader right now. This has been going on for 2 laps now, which is hugely impressive for anyone in the field. Yeah, it could be 3 now, yeah. Impressive for any driver, let alone an AM category driver. Brilliant driving from him. Let's see if he can keep it going though. Big long straight here, the longest straight on the track to keep Jason Cooper behind, who has now broken a gap between himself and Lars Fischer. More importantly, Casper de Court. But further up, we do have a move from Michael Seal on the inside of James Clark. Seal through into the lead.
Yeah, this is exciting. Look at this. Michael Seal, James Clark, wheel to wheel. Down the hill, they come into turn 2. Michael Seal with the inside line. He sends it into the corner, takes the position. James Clark too far back to fight through. Instead looking for a switchback manoeuvre, but it isn't coming through. Nothing doing for that on behalf of James Clark. So Michael Seal now up into the lead of the race. Credit to Craig Schill as well. He's an AM driver, but he's been keeping pace to front 2. Just laying in wait in behind. Maybe trying to pick up the scrap should these two come to blows. But as well, Ashley Stimson, he's defending so well, able to keep Jason Cooper in behind, who's looking everywhere he possibly can to try and take 4th place. And it's going to be crucial for Jason Cooper to do exactly that, because close behind, championship rival Casper de Court will keep saying it, they're so close on track, they can't afford to lose out to one another because the championship is so close as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And with this track, Hungaroring, with the way it is, if you get locked into a battle too much, getting side by side with someone for too long, it really can bog you down on this track, and you've got to be very, very careful of that. When you make a move, you've got to be able to complete it very quickly to stop yourself losing track from another driver. We saw that with Fischer and de Court battling just a lap ago, and they lost a bit of track, but they're able to catch it back up now with this crocodile of MX5s going through turn 13 here. Game on again for the 5-star motorsport drivers yet again as we come through the final corner for the final 5 minutes of this race.
Here we go. It's going to be action all the way from now till the checkered flag. You can count on it. Look at how close Jason Cooper is. He's going to be lining up a move into turn 1 right up there in the slipstream, but so is Stimson. He's going for it. And Craig Schill needs to get this move to stick, because otherwise you know what Jason Cooper's going to do. He's going to try and take advantage and come through himself. Side by side though for 3rd place, Craig Schill and Ashley Stimson, and laying in wait Jason Cooper. He's going to be able to pick up the pieces should the two come together, which they do into turn 2. Ashley Stimson bumped wide by Craig Schill, and all of a sudden he loses not 1 place but 2 places. Does Ashley Stimson, and maybe even a 3rd, as around the outside, now down to the inside goes Casper de Court, who needs to get this position made, which he does. Ben Sharp fancies a little look down the inside as well, and Stimson loses out on another place. So one little moment, one little bit of contact has seen Stimson
Cooper
drop down
contact
from
with Craig Schill, and now the 2 championship rivals are side by side, de Court and Cooper into the chicane. Cooper washed out wide with Schill defending on the inside of turn 5. Through goes de Court into the front position between him and Cooper. Big position swap and big drama for the championship potentially.
Yeah, I was just about to say Stimson lost out a few places, was in 4th, all the way down in 8th now, but Jason Cooper, he lost out in a couple of places himself, was battling wheel to wheel, like you said, with Craig Schill. A little bit of a bump, seen him drop back in behind, and now to the rear of this 5-star motorsport trainers. Look at Lars Fischer now going down the inside. He's going to send it, he's going to get it to stick. All of a sudden, you can see that Casper de Court fancies a move of his own around the outside through turn 14, even though this is known as turn 13. Is he going to get it to work? Oh my word, he has done. He's got the inside line for the final bend. and he's getting it to stick. Great move that from Casper de Court, who now is right up behind Lars Fischer and can see the podium on the cards. Is he going to get through those? Jason Cooper battles wheel to wheel with Craig Schill, and that's a sign of 5-star motorsport. As soon as one car gets a move done, they all go through. Look at Ben Sharp, absolutely send it through. There's contact, he touches the rear end of Casper de Court. How does Casper keep that car straight? He loses out one place, but how on earth does he not get looped around? The car is fully loaded up. He's turning it into the corner, gets a tap. You'd expect the car to spin around. Somehow, he regains control and only loses out one place.
I tell you what, this is a classic iRacing league finale right here. You've seen Casper de Court and Jason Cooper have to make evading moves to avoid being taken out of races tonight, and they have done so well to avoid it. A little bit of luck here and there, but also some very good driving at the same time. Casper de Court, importantly in turn one there, straightened up his wheel to reduce the risk of getting tagged by Ben Sharp there, and that was championship saving thinking from the Dutchman there. But now the position swapped again between them, and it's all down to getting involved with these other cars here. And I think Lars Fischer is a bit of a sweeper here at the front, trying to get everyone out of the way of Cooper and de Court here, but it's just not working. It's so intense out there.
He's like the Secret Service, isn't he? Trying to protect who's going to be coming out on top, though, who's going to be champion. He's trying to work his way through. Like you say, be a bit of a sweeper for Cooper and de Court. But look up ahead, Seal and Clark, they could start fighting as well. And if they do, well, it suddenly becomes not only a 2-3 car fight for the lead, but with a big slide like that, maybe not for James Clark, who does well to regain control of the car. All of a sudden, Lars Fischer can see second place opening up for him. If he gets a good exit out of the corner, you can see using all of the exit, which he's able to do. So you can't go 4 wheels off of the red and white curb, but keeps just his right-hand side wheels on the outside curb nicely. Now looking into the first corner, gonna need to be very late on the brakes. Doesn't able to. Oh, he may be though sending Lars Fischer, maybe sending James Clark rather, off wide, which he does. James Clark looking too far behind, braking too late to try and stay ahead, and that was a great psychological overtake rather than anything else, wasn't it? Lars Fischer filling the rear view mirrors, looking to the inside. James Clark was maybe spooked a little bit and broke a little bit too late, and now has to worry about Jason Cooper and Casper de Court in behind. And Jason will be hungry to put one car between himself and his championship rival going into the final race of the evening, final race of this season.
I think Lars Fischer would be relieved right now. A big, intimidating overtake you saw as Clark goes wide again. Very crooked tyres almost on that car. The rubber is running out on that Mazda there by the sounds of it, by the looks of it, and that breaks Cooper and de Court up into podium contention. Third place held by Cooper right now, as 5-Star Motorsport now go for the win on this final lap here, Ed.
And credit as well to Michael Seal, the Pro-Am driver, who this is going to put him in the perfect position to seal the championship in this final race. Should he hold on? You can see now he's having to go defensive. Lars Fischer on the final lap has an amazing run into the final few bends. Michael Seal fending off Lars Fischer. Now they come. Only 2 more corners to go. Michael Seal holding on to the lead, but for how long can he do that? He's just getting through now, but another great run into the final bend from Lars Fischer, who's going to look to the outside line. Michael Seal will fend him off all the way through, sending it around the outside. Is he going to come through for the race victory? Fischer can't quite get the edge, get the advantage. The checkered flag is being waved, and it will greet Michael Seal, who takes the race victory here at the end of the third race. Amazing stuff from Michael Seal, who is getting closer to seal the deal for the Pro-Am Championship. A good little excited wiggle as he makes his way into turn 1. Getting a bit of a slide on as well. Great stuff from Michael Fischer, though. Credit to him. Almost got the move done, didn't he, on that final lap. Cracking stuff. And then Jason Cooper and Casper de Court finishing 3rd and 4th. Again, inseparable on the road. Means that Cooper extends his advantage by only a few more points coming into this final race, with Ashley Stimpson what a race it's been from him, making up one place, but having to fend off against several drivers, Lars Fischer, Jason Cooper, and Casper de Court for a majority of the race. Only lost out on those positions thanks to a little bit of contact between himself and Craig Schill. So Ashley Simpson driving brilliantly. I think this has been probably one of Ashley's strongest performances this season. What a time to do it when you're on for your final round of the championship.
Absolutely. Stimson has won in his category. He has been the highest placed AM category driver of the field in all 3 races, and he's the 4th highest scorer of the night overall.
Wow.
Brilliant. Yeah, I think he's taken driver of the day already for me. But let's see how we get on with the 4th race. It is the final race of the championship next, and we have got the spinning wheel for the final time. Oh, it's an emotional one for me, but let's enjoy the spinning wheel for one final time, and let's see what it gives us. Hopefully a full reverse grid. Let's give it a go. Fingers crossed for a full, but no, it is going to be the best of next. In fact, it might well be as good as a full reverse. It is a top 27 reverse grid for the final race of the championship.
So, for all intents and purposes, that means it's a full reverse for the final round of the championship. And, well, Alex, you know what? I'll let you run through, because you did spin the final wheel. I'll let you run through the finishing order and tell us who's on reverse grid pole position.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ed. So, the classified results of round 12, race 3 here at the Hungaroring. Michael Seal takes the win in this round for Ignium Motorsport, and first of the Pro-Am category drivers. First of the Pro category drivers, and second overall to Lars Fischer with his teammates behind. Jason Cooper in third, fourth to Casper de Court. James Clark takes 5th place with a final lap battle with the 5-star Motorsport drivers. 6th place to Ashley Stimson. What a night it's been for him in the AM category. 7th to Ben Sharp, a big burst through the field, 12 places gained for him. Harley Moss takes 8th place overall with James Neve in 9th. Nick Clibbins climbing 13 places, the biggest mover in the grid, to 10th place. Craig Schill in 11th position, just ahead of Craig Cockrell. Simon Robson coming into tonight was the AM category championship leader. Might not be after these rounds we've had tonight. 13th for him though in race 3. Sam Smith 14th, followed by Adam McNally and his teammate Adam Delmont in 16th position. Glenn Humberston in 17th place, followed by Fiona Siddons in 18th position. Julian Schroer in 19th with Mark Oliver in 20th. And in 21st, which will be second on the grid, Andrew McEwen. And 22nd, Douglas Stewart, who will have pole position for the final race for the night, the final race of the season in the 79 car. Liam Silkstone, 3 laps down in 23rd, a non-finisher, as well as Brian Stewart classified 24th and Shane Piggott classified 25th.
Yeah, the reverse grid wheel being very kind to Andy McEwen with the reverse grids. He started on the second row, or started on the front row rather, on the third race, made a bit of a mistake, looped the car around, and now for the fourth and final race of the evening, he's also going to be starting in second place, but at least he has that experience now. He'll try not to make a dog's dinner of the first lap like he did last time around, Andy. But anyway, that was very intriguing in terms of the Pro-Am Championship. Seeing Michael Seal yet again take top honours in Pro-Am and actually top honours overall with the race victory. Cracking stuff from Michael. I think trying to work out the stats. How many has Michael Seal actually won this season? He's only won one race up until this point, so that's his second race victory of the season. What a time to do it when you are battling very closely for the Pro-Am Championship top spot. And as well, Ashley Stimson, what a time to be put in this level of performance, coming through to take 3 out of 3 AM class victories. Can he get a Grand Slam in this final race? Well, with a full reverse grid, there's going to be a lot to go through. And of course, the final race of the season has to be a reverse grid, doesn't it, Alex? You've been very kind with us with the entertainment being provided to us by the wheel, mate. It's going to be sad to miss you in the car spots because you are obviously not going to be able to stick with us in BSR for next season. You've got commitments elsewhere for your own league that you're operating. But you know what? Let's go out on a high and have this fourth and final race be something to remember.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to this final race. Going to enjoy it very, very much. It's been good to be back in the BSR circle. Hopefully, I'll be back in the future at some point. But yeah, very much enjoyed this season. So huge thank you to BSR for having me along, and thank you to the drivers for great entertainment.
With that, we will go to a short break, full reverse grid, final race of the season. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Absolute Sim Racing for the final race of this season's BSR SIM3D MX5 trophy. Here, round 12, Hungaroring. Only one more race to go this evening. And, well, what a season it has been. Alex, we've seen plenty of excitement across all of the rounds, and this final round has definitely not disappointed. Some amazing races, some surprise moments, and some big incidents that have left the championship completely turned on its head in some cases. At least in the AMs, there's been some big turnarounds there. But before we focus on here and now, let's focus on next week, where the BSR, the action does not stop here on Absolute Sim Racing. Next Monday, there will be a end of season endurance round coming through Brands Hatch. 180 minutes of endurance racing, so 3 hours. Multi-class as well between the TCR and MX5. Open for sign-ups still, and of course that is going to be broadcast on Absolute Sim Racing thanks to a good friend of the channel, Jack Oliphant, Jacko Racing, who's going to be in the box for I think the whole 3 hours, maybe even by himself. So hopefully if you are interested in racing, make sure to drop in and give him an old chin wag while the racing goes on, but I'm sure he won't be stuck for entertainment, considering what BSR is like in a sprint format. And I've commentated on an endurance race by BSR before at Silverstone, I think a year or so ago now, and that was exciting start to finish as well. So if you haven't signed up already, be sure to do so. It's for charity, it's for a very worthy cause. UK Motorsport Marshals, £10 entry fee, and it's going to a wonderful cause of making sure that our real life motorsport marshals are all looked after, basically, all sort of kept instead and all looked after, which I think is more important now than ever before, with obviously recent developments in the motorsport world. But of course, going back to the action here, we've got a full reverse grid on the cards, and all of a sudden, Jason Cooper and Casper de Kock, they're going to have a lot to do coming from the back of the field, and as well, making sure they get through cleanly, because a non-finish at this stage is going to be curtains for their championship hopes.
Yeah, they were probably watching the broadcast just after the last race, praying for a small reverse grid, even though I was praying for a big reverse grid to make action exciting, of course. But yeah, they of all people were probably hoping for a small one. But yep, the racing's about to get underway. So one last time this season, let's go for racing here in the MX5 trophy.
So here we go. Douglas Stewart, the final time this season, will be on pole position with Andy McEwen up alongside him. Mark Oliver in third, Julian Schroer fourth in the 444, ahead of Fiona Siddons, Glenn Humberston, Adam Delmont, the 777 in seventh place, ahead of Adam McNally, Sam Smith, Simon Robson, Craig Cockrell, Craig Schill, Nick Clibbins, 13th place car in 13th, number 13 in 13th. We've got a few patterns going. James Neve in 14th, ahead of Harley Moss, Ben Sharp, Ashley Stimpson, James Clark, Casper de Kock, and Jason Cooper. They're battling it out 20th and 19th. Lars Fisher in 21st place. Michael Seal all the way down at the back of the field, back of the grid in 22nd, ahead of Liam Silkstone, 23rd. Now, here we go at the Hungaroring. The final race is going to get underway. The sun is setting, and the sun is about to set on what has been a glorious championship. But from front of the field, Annie McEwen will get this race underway. Great start as well on the inside line, much better than race 3 from Andy McEwen. Should be uncontested into the first corner with Oliver and Schroer battling it out together. You can see Julian Schroer just looking down the inside in the 444, not able to get the move done, instead fending off Fiona Siddons, who's looking around the outside. Andy McEwen gets it all wrong though into the first corner, too late on the brakes, misses the apex completely, and now needs to fight back through against Mark Oliver. He looks down the inside, does Andy, trying to get back the position, who I think he's able to do. Mark Oliver running very wide through turn 2, loses out. Andy McEwen nearly lost out massively on first place, running hugely wide, almost losing the rear again. Oh my word, Andy McEwen, he keeps it just in control. There's a big incident in behind. Several cars all coming together. There's contact there. One of the Some motorsport cars is involved. Into the wall. Who is that?
Cooper.
That's Jason Cooper. Jason Cooper into the wall. Oh my word, there's damage on the front of his car. He gets it up and running. This is huge for the championship. Jason Cooper leads the championship as it stands, but at the moment, down in 19th place, this could be it for Jason. We're going to see on board with number one last season's champion. This is huge incident. He's going to be hoping to come through unscathed. Then all of a sudden, Harley Moss goes into the side of what seems to be Ben Sharp coming into. Oh my word, coming into turn 4. Jason Cooper with damage, but I think he's able to keep it going. No meatball, which is going to be key. He's going to try and come through. If there's any damage done to the suspension, any damage done to the front end of the car, we're going to see what comes through as Casper de Court is all the way up into 8th place. Already this race up 11 places. All of a sudden, the championship has been turned on its head, having a look through the rest of the field as well. Who's been involved? Ashley Stimpson. Ashley Stimpson in the AM class is out of the running. He's in the pits at the moment with damage. And where's Simon Robson? Simon Robson's in 18th place. And I'm trying to work out the maths in my head. I'm not sure if Simon Robson's going to be champion or not at this rate.
This is big. A big opening lap in the championship as Andrew McEwen leads away at the front in this final race here. It's not out of question yet for Cooper coming into tonight. There was 32 points between him and Casper de Court. There are drop rounds to consider as well, which makes it all the more complicated. Very slow down the straight. Here is Jason Cooper as Simon Robson passes him. This is bad news for Cooper, but it's not out of the question yet. Big points between them. It's all down to Casper de Court getting as high as he can, and again he's following his teammate Lars Fischer through the pack. Oh, and there's a spin in the mid-pack there. I think that's Fiona Sims getting all sideways. Leader in the AM category right now. Still keeps the lead. So she's got to keep it going. Keep going. This could be a good result for her on the cards still.
Oh, my word. This is madness. Let's be honest. This is absolute madness here as Fischer and de Court get through on Craig Cockrell now. And de Court, he's going to be hoping that Lars Fischer ahead is exactly like what we were saying earlier, the Secret Service guiding through, being the bodyguard for what could be this season's champion in behind Casper de Court. All he needs to do is finish this race where he is at the moment in 5th place, and he could seal the championship. I'm just trying to work out where Jason Cooper is. He's in 17th place. How many points is he going to earn from doing exactly that? Working it out in my head. So 17th place gets 54 points. But at the moment, where Casper de Court is, 5th place, gets 78 points. Is that going to be enough for Casper de Court to take the championship at this stage of the race? I don't think it is. I think he'll need to get up behind behind Lars Fischer and try and get ahead of Adam Delmont, all those other cars up ahead. He might need just a couple more places. But of course, Jason Cooper, with that damage, can still lose places. He's just ahead of Simon Robson at the moment. But with that straight line deficit that he's suffering from, it's going to be difficult for Jason to make any more gains.
Yeah, this is going to be a very trying race for Jason Cooper here. He's got to... Everything he's going to gain is going to be after turn 1 and before turn 14. As we can see, look at this. Past goes Simon Robson again. Jason Cooper is just a sitting duck.
James Neve has damage though.
Yes, James Neve does have damage up ahead there, and that allows Simon Robson through. Oof, very iffy
Jason
move.
Cooper's going to get a move. He's going to get one place, which could be crucial.
Yeah, that was a bit iffy to watch there, particularly as they're in front of one of the main championship protagonists. But Jason Cooper, you just see when the car gets up to speed, that's where he's losing out. But round the corners, he's still blisteringly quick. Meanwhile, at the front, Casper de Court real close to 5th place Lars Fischer again, still. But they've got a few real big drives ahead of them, namely Adam McNally, who was in the championship fight at the beginning of the night, no longer is. Delmont ahead as well. He was the winner of race 2, of course. Julian Schroer, highest in the Pro-Am category, and up front, it's your boy Andrew McEwen, Ed.
Yeah, Andy, who I'm hoping to be sharing a car with on the Monday endurance race, which will be good to see two commentators in the car, not in the comms box for once. See how see how we get together. Maybe it'll be a sign that we shouldn't quit our day jobs, but we'll never know. We'll see how it all goes ahead. And again, they're doing a great job so far this race. Up ahead of Julian Schroer as Adam Delmont gets to squabbling with the aforementioned Team Gonzo Racing driver, the 444, still squabbling with the 777. Now into the final bend, side by side still. Julian Schroer with the advantage on the inside line. Carrying it out though, the long way around, getting a good exit is Adam Delmont. The two will battle side by side though into turn number 1. All of this fighting is giving Andy McEwen a bit more breathing space to work with now. Up by nearly 2 seconds. Further behind though, let's have a look at, well, cars closing in. Casper de Court has gotten ahead of Lars Fischer, and that's going to be important for the championship. An extra few points. Let's see how a move was made. This was just coming through the point, and I don't think that was Lars Fischer really fighting that too much. Lars Fischer dropping back in behind, and now it's just down to Casper de Court. What can he do? He can see Julian Schroer now, the Pro-Am driver, just up ahead, but he can't get through at this point. It's not worth sending a move. It's all about waiting. There's a long time still to go in this race. What, with only 7 minutes gone, there's around about 8 still to come. He's going to look though, isn't he, down into the chicane. He's got the overlap. He's going to try and send it. This is a scary place to go for the move. Has he got it to stick? He's going to have to afford room on the inside, which he does. Great move from Casper de Court now, up into 4th place. His teammates looking to come through around the outside. Held off though nicely by Julian Schroer. And all the while, Adam Delmont, now he's in clear air, reeling in Andy McEwen. Lap after lap, corner by corner, that gap is coming down.
Yeah, it could be a big battle towards the end of the race here. Adam Delmont breaking away from his teammate here. 5 places gained for the 2 Excite drivers who've been relatively close together in races 3 and 4. Of course, we saw Adam McNally have terrible luck in races 1 and 2. Delmont with better luck in race 2 with the win. And a well-deserved win of more than 8 seconds. But, yeah, back to Jason Cooper as there's a car off in the side there. That was Fiona Siddons. Fiona Siddons out of the race. Let's see if we can get a replay of what happened to Fiona. Just see what actually happened. She was in the wall. It's coming down the main straight here. Oh, might have been a wheel disconnection of some sort, because you can just see the car snap to the left there.
Oh, Fiona Siddons, she does have, she has new equipment for this evening, which was, well, we're going to say she was doing well up into the lead of the AM category for a while, but I think that new equipment has sadly suffered a few teething problems.
Yeah, these things do happen. I've said it on many broadcasts in the past, the technical issue, particularly the internet, is the sim racing equivalent of an engine blowing up in real life racing. It's these things do happen. They're the problems we have to sidestep in our sim racing hobby.
I think that was the equivalent of a sim racing suspension failure, I think, in terms of the wheel disconnecting and dragging her off to the left hand side, but thankfully no other cars were collecting her. Look at this though, up ahead. It's close between Fischer and de Court, still together, but even closer between de Court and McNally. Now these two, like you mentioned, were championship rivals at one stage, but with a bad evening from McNally, he's dropped out of the fight. But you know he's going to be hoping to hold on to the podium, have something to take out of the evening here at the Hungaroring. And I tell you what, I love these. I love the iRacing night transition. Now you can see that the sun is definitely well and truly set. The lights shining even brighter than they were before and filling the rear view mirrors of Adam McNally, getting full of 5-star motorsport cars, as he's got Lars Fischer as well in behind. But up ahead for the final 5 minutes, it's going to be a straight out shootout between McEwen and Adam Delmont. McEwen slightly slower off of the final corner than Delmont. He is going to be right up there into turn 1. McEwen going on the defensive. These two battling is going to, I think that was a bit of a bump draft actually, a bit of a help along, because they want to try and get Gappers actually in behind. Look at this, de Court up into 3rd place. This could be the move that seals the championship from as Jason Cooper is all the way down in 16th place. This could be enough for Casper de Court to seal the deal. It's going to be close. I think as we see the pair of them quite up ahead. This is between Adam Delmont and Andy McEwen. Noah's arcing their way as 2 by 2 they go in behind. DeCourt and McNally. DeCourt with the inside line. He's able to take third place. This is going to be huge for the championship. DeCourt taking 85 points to his name compared to Jason Cooper, who's all the way down in 16th place. Jason, like we said, only taking around about 50 points from this. Have a look, 54 points.
It's going to be close, very, very close, and there's still time for Casper DeCourt. I think it might.
I think as it stands, Casper DeCourt is going to just win out because he's going to be getting where he is at the moment. I think 85 points, which means it's a 41-point swing, if my maths is right, in his favour. And I did some more maths equations working out things. They were 32 points coming into this. When I last checked, Jason Cooper, from the third race of the evening, had increased his gap by 5 points. So it was 37 points going into the final race. That one move has made an extra 5 points for DeCourt, and this could be what seals the deal for the championship. This could be enough for Casper DeCourt here.
It could well be. That might have been the move we saw as Lars Fischer makes a move on Adam McNally. We can see there, but I think Casper DeCourt will not be fully aware of it. There's drop rounds to consider as well, which is very, very complicated, as we mentioned. I think he'll have his eyes fixed on these two up top here, trying to get himself a race win just to be sure, I
think Jason Cooper's actually already taken his 2 drop rounds. He's had 2 meetings where he wasn't attending, so he scored 0 points. So this is it for the championship. Here we go as well for the lead of the race. McEwen and Delmont battling it out. DeCourt has closed down, and Fischer is being a rear gunner, essentially meaning that the worst that Casper DeCourt can finish is third. Look at these two, though, battling it out. McEwen and Delmont. What a great battle it is we're being treated to. And all of a sudden, are we going to be having maybe a little bit of contact? Yeah, this is going to be nail-biting stuff right at the end here. And you know what? Having a look as well, down in 10th place, Seal is having a brilliant run up into 10th place, up 12 places since the start of this race. Let's not forget that the Pro-Am Championship is still there for the taking.
Absolutely, and I think Seal has done very, very well tonight. He's up there as a contender for driver of the day. Brilliant night tonight, and I think it might have been enough to seal the deal in the championship there. There's a few drivers ahead of him. Craig Cockrell is the most notable driver ahead of him. He's battling in the championship, but I think Seal has got enough points on Cockrell throughout the progression of tonight to take that championship. Again, all to be confirmed at the end of the night here. Stay live on air here to watch the championship conclude tonight. We will confirm the standings provisional bar any instant reviews, but we will be giving you the results live on air upon the completion of this final race, which after the completion of this lap has one more lap to go.
Andy McEwen half a second to his advantage. He comes through the final corner, not his strongest, but still enough. You can see 4/10 to probably be ahead into turn 1. The white flag being waved there, you can see just on the left hand side of your screens. Casper DeCourt closing in now to Adam Delmont. This is it, the last lap. Is he going to go for a last lap move down the inside? Defensive stuff from Adam Delmont, who's going to defend off the inside. McEwen almost touched up the rear, but had faith to know that he had the advantage, had the speed going onto the apex. Casper DeCourt, he knows that he could be the champion, but Jason Cooper can still make up a place on this final lap. So Casper needs to do all he can to make one more position, to make almost virtually certain that he comes through as the champion of this season's BSR SIM3D MX5 trophy. The final lap on the cards now. McEwen having to fend off Delmont, who himself has to fend off Casper DeCourt. We thought that this championship was going to go right down to the wire. We didn't expect it to go right down to the final lap, maybe even the final few corners here, as McEwen holding the inside line now to fend off Adam Delmont. That's going to hold both of them up. Most importantly, hold Delmont up. He's going to get a poor run out to the corner. There's an overlap. There's a look down the inside from Casper de Court, who's going to go for it. He's got the inside line, then the outside line. Is he going to go for a switchback maneuver? Yes, he is. He's going to get a good run out to the corner. But again, the track moves in favour this time of Adam Delmont. Andy McEwen, now this is great news for him. He's seeing these two battle. He knows that he's got the advantage. Look at how close Casper de Court is. He is going for it. This is it for the championship. He needs to take these chances as they come, because look around the outside. Adam McNally's going to try and steal the party, try and steal his thunder now into the final bend. It's going to be 3 wide. Is it almost? No, it's going to be side by side though between McCourt and McNally. Delmont just with the advantage, holding on to second place. And it's going to be Andy McEwen rounding out through the final corner to take the race lead. His second of the season, and he wins the final race of the season as well. Great stuff from Andy McEwen. Adam Delmont finishes in third. Casper just ahead, having to fend off a late charge from Adam McNally. That was heart and mouth stuff, very close. And now the eyes will inevitably shift down towards Jason Cooper. What can he do? You can see how close he is to the back end. Is he close to Simon Robson? No, he is. It's a close fight going on. Is there going to be any tears from these 4 drivers all up together? Look at how close it is. Humberston just finishing ahead of Stewart. Simon Robson as well coming in 14th. Has that been enough to seal the AM Championship? I wonder what's happened. Cooper's made up 1 place on the final lap. Has that been enough for Jason Cooper? He's finishing 15th. Right at the end here from Jason Cooper. That's going to be oh so close. And I think that might have just done it, you know. That could be it from Jason Cooper. He goes up to what he doesn't know. We don't know. We're only going to know when the points are tallied up and all the drop rounds are taken into account. But still, Jason Cooper, he might have come back from a long way down. A lot of adversity thrown his way. And Jason Cooper could have taken and could have retained this championship crown.
It's a bit of a is that Glock moment right here. Somebody came into the pits at the end. I have a feeling it was Harley Moss. Where was Harley Moss in the standings? 21st. I could see he left the pits. It might have been a drive-through penalty due to a slowdown or something like that. But somebody went through the pits on that final lap. And that's what's caused Jason Cooper to bump up a place. But, well, we can only wait. We have got a few minutes to wait for the standings. But once every driver is classified, we'll go through the results of the final race here. And we'll have some interviews with the race winners of tonight. But it's all to come. The final championship results are soon to come, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go away. It will be here soon.
Yeah, we are eagerly awaiting the final provisional classification. Tell you what, that final race was absolutely amazing, wasn't it? Great, close fighting all the way through. I have to regain my breath, try and breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, because that was certainly something else. I think the final driver has come across the line now, Craig Schill. So we are going to be getting points up on the board. Tell you what, though, the driver that's going to be happy with that race, regardless of the championship, is Andy McEwen coming through to take his second race victory of the evening. He's over the moon to round out the season with a win. He were hard to come by on Frank McEwen. He showed great pace, just wasn't able to get the fortune, get the luck his way, and a few little mistakes here and there, but he dialed them out for that final race. Great defensive drive as well, keeping Adam Delmont at bay. As seen, we've got the confirmation up on your screens. Andy McEwen takes the race victory ahead of 777 Adam Delmont. Casper de Court finishing in third place. A brilliant drive up through the field, but was it enough to secure the championship? Adam McNally in fourth place, almost spoiled the party regardless. In fourth place. Great little move there. Adam McNally wasn't able to win the championship, but he could have certainly affected it, and maybe he still has. You never know what might happen. With Lars Fischer in fifth place, doing a good rear gunner and a good third wheel for the 2 championship protagonists in his team to out cleanly and fairly. Big credit to Lars Fischer himself as well for getting some good results along the way this evening. Let's not forget about that. Julian Schreier there for Team Gonzo comes to the top of the Pro-Ams in the fourth and final race here at the Hungaroring, ahead of Craig Cockrell in ninth place, Nick Clemens in eighth, Liam Silkstone and Michael Seal in 10th place. I think has secured the Pro-Am Championship with that result, as well as all of the other results of his championship campaign. A great evening from Michael Seal, who I think, following the disappointment befalling Ashley Stimpson, I think my second favourite for Drive the Round at that point was Michael Seal, and I'm not sure if you'll agree with me or not, Alex. We might have to discuss this afterwards, maybe when we find out what the championships are looking like. We'll come through to have a chat about that. Sam Smith, though, in 11th place, ahead of top of the AMs, Glenn Humberston. Douglas Stewart in 13th. Simon Robson now, 14th place. Has that been enough to secure the AM Championship ahead of his big rival, Ashley Stimpson? Jason Cooper classified as finishing 13th. So I think Jason Cooper might have done it. I think Jason Cooper has just secured the championship. We'll see if we can get confirmation. James Clark in 14th. James Neve, Sam Smith, Douglas Stewart, and Craig Shear. We've got a few more just to run through classifying the fourth and final race before we go through the championship. You can see there all non-finishes, high rate of attrition, and I think you have the information to reveal who's came out on top.
I don't yet. No, we don't have it yet provided to us. The admin's working hard behind the scenes to try and get the points together, check them through to make sure they're okay. But the news of Jason Cooper moved up 2 places in the finish there, up to 13th place, is because Sam Smith and Douglas Stewart both received 30-second penalties as they crossed the line. Probably due to not serving penalties on the final corner of the lap. So that might have saved Jason Cooper there, as we said, and is that Glock moment. Very, very dramatic indeed, and we'll find out very, very soon. The results are on their way, but I think we may have some interviews to help pass the time, might we, Ed?
Yes, we do, and I think we can have a chat too. Well, let's bring in third place, at least, in the championship. I think that was a foregone conclusion. Adam McNally, that was a exciting final round, an exciting final race as well. We saw you battle through the order, and just talk us through that final race.
Final race was great. The rest of the night's been one of them nights. I mean, I didn't buy the track till yesterday, expecting to get from practice on Monday night. Sun's football ran later, I didn't get any laps. So I had about 6 laps around the track. I think it just showed with my pace, it just wasn't there. I had a quali ban, so I had to start the back race one. Just, like I said, one of them nights.
Yeah, at the start of the championship, you did drop back, at the start of the evening, rather, you did drop back a little bit, but you picked up the pace as the evening went on. You got a few more laps under your belt, and I think you can be very pleased with that 4th place finish. You almost got another move made on Casper Court in those dying laps. Just talk to us about that little that late fight you had on, because that was very exciting to watch in the comms box.
If Delmont wasn't on 14 out of 15x, I would have pushed them through. So I was trying to make a move but not hit Delmont and lose points. So like I said, my move was all dependent on how good of an exit Delmont got. Then he slowed it a bit much and just allowed Casper to run around the outside of us. So, but 4th place, I'll take that. Best position of the night.
You're as well in the championship. I think you're confirmed, at least I don't think there's anyone close up behind you. You finished in 3rd place overall, which is a pretty good show for your return back to the BSR MX5 trophy from a little while away. How does it feel to be on the overall finishing podium?
Absolute mega. Like I said at the start of the season, I just come in for fun. It's been an absolute cracking season all season. Really enjoyed it, and to get 3rd overall, just an added bonus. Really happy with it, and I think we've got 2nd in teams, so even better again. But I mean, them 5-star boys are just untouchable.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a good showing from them. We're just trying to work out the maths and figure out the drop rounds to see who's taking the overall championship between Jason Cooper and Casper de Court.
By the looks of it, by 14.
It looked like it could be, yeah, but we'll see if we can get the graphics up and see if it's all sorted out by the admins, of course. But thank you, Adam. That was a great. Even you say you're in here for fun. Are you going to be here for a bit more fun next season?
Oh, definitely. Absolutely, 100%. Loved it. And
Cracking stuff, mate. Cracking stuff. And before we say goodbye to you, we've got quite a few drivers at the end of the season lining up for interviews. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out there on the broadcast, mate?
5-star lads for doing a mega job all season. Well done to Cooper and Decor for first and second. Big shout out to you for the broadcast, which is always mega. All the people that do all the hard work behind the scenes, penalty wise, looking at all the protests, and obviously my team for turning up and putting the shifts in every week.
Yeah, thank you very much, Adam. We'll hope to see you next time out next season for some more MX5 excitement.
Hey, thanks for having us. It's been great.
So there we go. Adam McNally exits the comms box. We just got the points coming through, Alex. I'm not sure if we've got them ready to bring up, or should we have another interview quickly?
Oh, I think we'll keep you all waiting. We'll have one more interview before we get underway. The dinner is cooking, ladies and gentlemen. We're nearly there.
Lots of several drivers all lining up, and let's have a chat to the driver who finished second in that last race of the evening, Adam Delmont. That was exciting from you, watching you battle it out with only McEwen in the closing stages and having to fend off hard charging Casper de Court. What was it like from your perspective, though, mate, in such a close fight at the end?
Hot and sweaty. Yeah, no, it's been a good night. Kind of made up for the last, I think, 2 or 3 weeks. I've just had a bit of a mare. So, no, we're good to finish on a high. Really good racing as usual with the cars at the front. And, yeah, I'll take it. I'll
Yeah, definitely. It was brilliant battling all season long, all race long as well. And just talk us through your experiences this season. You said, obviously, the last few rounds were a bit of a mare. But, to be fair, you were looking like one of the drivers that really knows how to make those reverse grid races work. And I guess you've had a lot of fun doing it.
Yes, I've got to admit those. I think it was which track were it? I got 29th to 3rd. There has been
Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there has been some good comeback drives. There has been some really enjoyable races. To be fair, yeah, I've had some bad luck, and I've also caused some issues through just miscalculation, an error. It happens. But overall, no, I really enjoyed it. There's been some classic racing. Congratulations to obviously 5-star on overall Casper, Jason, drivers, Lars as well. It's been really good close battles, and yeah, thoroughly enjoyed. We're happy with those constructors as well, so yeah, happy.
Yeah, we've already spoken to your teammate McNally. Are we going to be seeing more of the Excite boys out and about next season?
I can imagine so. I know we're signing up to a Monday night thing starting next week, but that still leaves Tuesday night. So yeah, I've really enjoyed coming back, and I think I might have to come back again. Hopefully try and mount a bit more of a solid attack for a decent finishing position. Because I think the pace is there, it's just too many ups and downs this season for me. I think I need to go away and rethink about maybe how I've handled, certain situations. Particularly starting at the back, I really struggle to gauge the speed difference sometimes, and it just catches me out. I think I've lifted early, and then I'm like, oh, no, not lifted early enough.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, mate, great to have a word with you before we say goodbye to you. Is there anybody you would like to give a big thank you or a shout out to here on Absolute Sim Racing?
Yeah, obviously you guys for the fantastic broadcasts, the series organisers, they've done a fantastic job. All the drivers themselves for taking part and making it what it is, and obviously my teammates, Excite, and our sponsors, and anybody that's viewed my streams and stuff. It's all appreciated, so thank you very much. Cracking job, guys.
Cheers, Adam. Good to hear from you. Hopefully we will see you next season, bud.
Yes, I'm sure you will do. You guys take care.
So there we go. Adam Delmont exits the comms box, and Alex, it's the we've let it stew, we've let it cook off, and now we can reveal who's came out on top in the championship standings. And it went right down to the wire, didn't it, Alex? Right down till the final lap. If you bring up, hopefully, the results on the stream, on the broadcast, you're able to find out who's came to the top of the pro standings.
Without further ado, we'll start off with the Pro category standings. So therefore, the winner of the BSR SIM3D MX5 Trophy Pro Category Championship goes to Jason Cooper by 14 points. Saved by the bell at the end of that race there we have just witnessed. 14 points ahead of Casper de Court in second position. A big fight between them two all through the season and tonight. And it went down right to the final corner as it turned out. And a third place for Adam McNally to round off a brilliant comeback season for himself.
That was absolutely amazing, and we can have a word with Jason Cooper, who is in the interview waiting room. Congratulations, Jason. That was right down to the wire, left it late, and after a bit of a setback, you kept your head down, you went for it, and you know, that was a real champion's drive. In this adversity, you came through and you secured the championship. Maybe not in the most comfortable of fashions, but you secured it. How are your emotions feeling at the moment?
That was a bit of a roller coaster to me, but it's far too close to comfort. I thought I died in that last race. I hit the wall pretty hard, and then hit some cars as well. I was like, oh. So yeah, very lucky to keep going and scrape enough points to win it.
Yeah, and there was some close fights all the way through. There were some heart-in-mouth moments. Let's not forget, I think it was the second race where we saw you have to come to a complete standstill to avoid an incident.
I stopped, the engine stalled and had to restart it, and there was cars going around, and I had to see them crash and flying either side. I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, very stressful.
But you came through, didn't you? We've just seen the replay up on the stream now. It was a big incident. You had a lot of damage, and what were you thinking at that moment in time? Did you think it was lost, or did you still think you had a chance?
Well, I knew with that impact I was going to have air damage. I was hoping I didn't have suspension damage. I'll get a meatball, because if I had to come in and have repairs, and that would have then I would have been more than a lap down. So praying that didn't happen, and then could carry on. It was really slow. I don't know what it was. 3 seconds a lap off, was it? I'm not sure. But, yeah, kept going. Scraped enough points. Luckily, there was quite a few retirements, so I picked up a few points.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, it's always exciting when a championship comes right down to the wire, and you have to make the difference on the final race. And even more exciting when you're against your teammate. Just how has this championship been when you've been fighting with someone that you're fairly close to in Casper de Court?
I've been working together all season, and then it kind of got to the second half of the season. I'm like, oh, perhaps I shouldn't have been doing that. It's a bit too close. And fair play to him. Both of them have got quicker and quicker as the season's gone on. Obviously getting used to the championship who they're racing against. It's been really, really good racing as usual. Shout out to everybody out there. Wouldn't be what it is without all of you racing. So thanks.
Yeah, and you've retained your championship crown for another season. Obviously, last season you took top honours, this season as well. A little bit close to this time. Do you reckon you'll be able to try and repeat the feat next season if you want to stick around for more action?
Oh yeah, definitely come back. There's nothing as fun as this. So hopefully everyone else will come back as well, and we can have some great racing again.
Yeah, definitely, Jason. It's been great to watch you all championship long. Even in this final round, you didn't disappoint. You gave us some exciting moments, some heart and mouth stuff. But congratulations, bud, on your championship victory. Before we say goodbye to you, the floor is yours, mate. Who do you want to give a shout out to?
Obviously, you guys for doing the broadcast. Obviously, my teammates, Casper and Lars, worked together all season, and it's been a lot of fun. And obviously, again, everyone else who races every week, it makes it what it is.
Thank you very much, Jason. Congratulations again on your championship. We'll look forward to seeing you next season, bud.
Yeah, cheers. Bye.
So there we go. That was Jason Cooper. Joins us in the comments box. Shall we have a quick word with second place's teammate Casper de Court, who joins us in the comments box? Commiserations, Casper. That was close. It was always going to be a job to try and beat your teammate Jason, who's ever so quick, but you gave it a red hot go and finishing only 14 points off at the end. It's going to be heartbreaking, but still second place. Brilliant job, bud.
For a first season, I think I'm pretty happy with that. From what I understand from Jason, he's won like everything the last 4 years in this, so to only be 14 points off in the first season, I'm happy with that. I'll take that.
Yeah, Jason's been pretty decent this season. It's to be fair, in all previous seasons. So you've done pretty good on your debut. And what was it like on those dire moments where maybe you thought the championship could have been on? How close was it?
To be honest, I had no idea how many positions I needed. I saw Jason on lap 1 was down in the field, so I was like, okay, I just need to go forward as much as I can. But I had no idea how many positions I needed, so I just tried to get every single one. Of course, in the end, that battle with for the lead I could have won it. I think maybe if I'd have been a bit more aggressive on lap the second to last lap. But you know what can you do? It's still got to keep it clean, otherwise penalty might not even get me close to Jason. So yeah, it is what it is.
It is, but I'll tell you what, second place in this championship for your debut season is very, very strong, bud. It's been great to see you come through as a driver as well, from the first race in the first round to where you are now. It's been brilliant stuff. I think, what was it, the first race at Road America, if I can cast my mind back that far and try and refresh my memory. It was great stuff, right? And are we going to see you for the same next season?
I think so. I think I started this season just looking for something fun to race in, because I hadn't really been racing a lot, to be honest, over the past year. It's busy with league stuff. So this has been very welcome how this has gone. So lots of fun. Got lots of people to race. So yeah, I'll definitely be back.
100%, mate. Good to see you racing up there. Good to hear that you'll be back next season. And of course, 5 Star Motorsport, new team for this season as well. We didn't see him around last time, but new for this season, also taking the Constructors' Championship. How has it been working together between the three of you with Cooper and Fisher?
I think it's worked really well. I think in qualifying we had it down, so I think every race bar 1 or 2 we were in the top 5, all 3 of us. And from there, there's a little bit of luck involved, but I think overall, just everyone just kept it clean and was able to just keep collecting the points, not race each other too hard, don't drive into each other, and because everyone else will do that for you. And yeah, I think everyone, both Jason, Lars, and myself, we just kept it clean and racked the points in that way.
Yeah, we've seen basically all evening, all season long, whenever there's one 5-Star Motorsport car, there's usually another couple right next to him. There's always together moving as a pack through the field. It shows that we work together as a team, and congratulations on second place. And to be fair to everyone at 5-Star, congratulations on your Constructors' Championship. Before we say goodbye to you, Cass, before we move on to the Pro-Am Championship and everything that's gone on there, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out on the broadcast?
Well, the teammates, Jason and Lars, of course, the team managers, Max, and other Max, Joran. That's it.
Oh, congratulations, Casper. Thanks for joining us in the Cosmos. Thanks for giving us a great season to watch as well, and congratulations on your second place in the championship.
Thank you, and thank you for all the broadcasts.
No problems. Seeing the comms box, Casper Court. Now we can move down to the Pro-Am Championships, Alex, and I think it's no surprises to see who's came on top there.
Yep, so we can reveal the Pro-Am standings, final standings for the championship. Michael Seal takes it by 78 points to Craig Cockrell in second place. And a valiant drive in races 1, 2 and 3 for the third place sitter, but it just wasn't to be for Moss. He gets third place, Harley Moss does. 167 points behind Michael Seal, who takes the championship of Ignia Motorsport.
Yeah, so great stuff there. We can bring in the Pro-Am Championship victor, Michael Seal, who joins us in the comms box. And Michael, that was one heck of a final round. You hadn't had best of luck going into this round, but I'll tell you what a time to put out a performance like that. Cracking stuff, mate. You've got to be well over the moon with that performance.
Yeah, I'm well over it. I didn't think, honestly, I'd be able to put it off. I've had some amazing competition this year with Harley and Craig and Lee, and somehow I've managed to have the cleaner week. But yeah, I'm more excited about my first BSR win, I think, in race 3 at the moment than I am the championship.
Yeah, it's a cracking race victory, mate. I think we've got down on the standings. I think you've won another race earlier this season. I'm trying to remember which one it was, but we've got down that you have already won.
I've not won one on the road, what I'm aware of. I was leading the final lap of Donington in one of the races and was spun in the chicane, but I've not won one.
That was your only win. Yeah, sorry, that was my mistake. Yeah, it was your only win this season.
So yeah, it's been a night of ups and downs. Race 4 was all about finishing, just stay out of everyone's way and score some points.
And score some points you did, mate. You extended your gap as well, because coming into it, what, it was 12 points the margin, I think we had down. That it was about 12 points between you and Craig Cockrell. Now coming out, it's 78 points, which just shows how strong your performance was, mate. Cracking stuff. And going into next season, I guess that sets you in good stead for yet more repeat performances.
Yeah, now that will mean I'm now moved up with the top guys in pro for next season. We'll see if I can hang on to the back of Jason next season. That'll be the plan.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if you can mix up with Jason Cooper. Of course, you've got a new team as well on your paint job. Saw you out last time out at Alston Park. I think that was your new trim, your new livery. And to be fair, it's seen you in good stead, because you've been seemingly getting a bit more better luck and a bit more better pace coming out of that car all of a sudden.
Yeah, or it is that was a last minute change last week. It was invited along to join the team, and credit to the team, they've been a massive help in the last few weeks. It is building a new PC and everything what's gone on, and looking forward to moving forward with them.
Yeah, definitely, and obviously this has been such an exciting season. Obviously the Pro-Am Championship winner, you said you were giving back for next season. Is there plenty of excitement still to come? Do you think you can maybe get a little bit better, maybe challenge for a podium potentially at the end of the next season?
Yeah, it is. You've always got to aim for getting better and better. If not, you stop enjoying it, isn't it? It is all the time you can improve. I'll keep trying.
And off the back of this, you are this season's Pro-Am Championship victor. The floor is yours, mate, if there's anybody you'd like to give a shout out to.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everyone who's taken part this season. It's been a lot of work for the admin and everything going on, but the series has become what it has because of the drivers and you guys on the stream. It would be nothing without you guys and the drivers. So thank you to everyone who's taken part.
Yeah, we echo your sentiments about the admins as well. We said at the start of the broadcast that there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to make all of this action possible. So thank you to you, Michael, and the rest of the admins for giving us such a great championship to commentate over.
Yep, thank you, and we'll see you next season.
Yeah, see you next season, bud. Take care. And with that, Michael Seal exits the comms box. We are running a little bit short on time, I think, Alex. I'm not sure if we have a chance for any more interviews, but we can at least go through the AM Championship standings, can't we?
Yes, we can. So we can reveal that the AM Category Championship standings are as follows. Your winner of the AM Category Championship is Simon Robson by 49 points. From a hard charging today, but unlucky in the final race, Ashley Stimpson, where it might have fallen away from him in that final race. Robson takes it by 49, and in third place, with quite a good second half to the season, Glenn Humberston takes third place, just ahead of Craig Schill, with 131 points down from Simon Robson.
Yeah, it was a brilliant championship, wasn't it, between Simon Robson and Ashley Stimpson, going right the way down to the wire. It was close at the end, but Ashley Stimpson's non-finish means that Simon Robson, right at the end, has been able to take the championship. We knew it was going to be close across the board, but maybe we didn't expect it to be that close. But again, huge credit to all of the drivers this season. I think this has been the first time that I can remember that all of the championships have gone through all 12 meetings, all 48 races, and only been settled on the final race of the season. So huge credit to everyone involved. Cy Robertson, Ashley Sitting, Ben Humston, everybody in the AM Championship, everyone across all classes for making them go right the way down to the wire. It's been a brilliant season, hasn't it, Alex? It's going to be a shame to miss out on you, but you can be sure, everyone, that I'll be here for next season's action. Just waiting to see if either Cy Robson or Ashley Stimpson are coming through to have a word with us, but I don't think they are, Alex.
There we go. But I'm sure Simon Robson is hugely pleased with his achievement here. It is the first stepping stone to big glory in sim racing, being an AM category championship winner, and particularly, as you said, it was so tight across all three categories tonight, and Robson did everything he had to do tonight. He finished every race and he got to the end.
Not every race.
Oh, did he not? Oh, my bad.
Oh no, well, yeah, he didn't finish every race. He did F, I think, in the second or third race.
Well, he did finish the final race, the all-important one, and that's the one that sealed it for him. So, big credit to Robson and Stimson for putting on a great show tonight in that category. Yeah, huge credit to the pair of them. Huge credit to everyone, like we said, for taking part this season. It's been a great championship to be on board with. Alex, it's going to be a shame to say goodbye to you, but hopefully we'll see you out and about in BSR in one form or another down the line. Yeah, hopefully. Maybe as a driver, who knows. But yeah, I'll be back at some point, ladies and gentlemen, surely. Oh, thank you for having me, though. It's been an absolute pleasure being alongside you, Ed, in the comms box. Yeah, what a series we have witnessed here. Ended on such a brilliant night of racing, dramatic night as well. On such a good track, fairly new to iRacing as well, and it's provided such good action tonight. It's definitely one I'm glad I bought for tonight. I'm sure some of the drivers feel that as well, except for Adam McNally, maybe. Perhaps, but I'll tell you what, it's been brilliant to be a part of, brilliant to see everyone here, and of course, don't forget, in a week's time, on Monday, we have the Brands Hatch 180 minutes, 3 hours endurance with the MX5s and TCRs battling it out. Multi-class action, broadcast on Absolute Sim Racing with Jack Oliphant on the camera. Keep your eyes on that, raising money for a good cause as well. Hopefully we'll be able to not only get a sign-up link, but also potentially a donation link in the YouTube chat for that broadcast. So if you aren't taking part, you can still put forward what you can for such a great cause. The BSR likes to give something back at the end of these sorts of seasons, and hopefully you'll be able to join us all for that on Absolute Sim Racing. But unfortunately, as you can see on the circuit, the sun has set, and it was also set on a brilliant BSR SIM3D MX5 trophy. Huge thank you, of course, to season sponsors SIM3D and Go for the Gap. Been wonderful being a part of this championship as well at Absolute Sim Racing. I've been Ed May. Alex Everett has joined me in the commentary box. We'll be back next time, I'm sure, for more MX5 BSR action next season. But until then, it's goodbye, take care, and stay safe.